Guys, what's going on? Guys, I just realized that that we didn't finish going over the Andrew Wilson Coach Greg Adams stream, right? So guys, we can do this maybe in like 2 more parts, right? But guys, let's see how far that we can get through this today, right? So we won't break any news today, guys. Not today. Steve, what's up, dude? It's good to see you, my friend.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
Rajai, what's going on, my friend? Good to see you as usual. Let me see. Steve, man, thanks for handing out a membership. Appreciate that. Thanks for that. Whiteout's here. Cat Wags is here. What's going on? It's good to see you guys. So, guys, where we left off, Greg Adams was just getting into calling Andrew a Neanderthal and all that other stuff, right? So hopefully this gets back on track.
I think just liberal degeneracy. Give me something you could do that would give any kind of failsafe against this. One thing.
I don't know what communities you live in, but your church pastor is going to be very busy walking in all of these bedrooms, preventing divorce and enforcing women to sleep with their husbands. Now, the first leap of faith that you have, hold on for a second. Oh, I heard you. The first leap of faith is virgin. Okay. If we look at the stats, please pull up the stats of how many women qualify as a virgin.
On virginity.
You said that's virginity. I'm just letting you know. You brought it up.
In America.
Now, in America, what women percentage qualify as?
Now, guys, once again, they're talking past each other, right? Okay. This debate question, is marriage worth it, is a stupid question, right? They should have added a qualifier. Is marriage worth it now? Can marriage be made can marriage be made to be worth it in the future, right? And then they didn't even define what each party thinks marriage is. So now Greg Adams is arguing, is marriage worth it now? And Andrew Wilson's saying, can we make marriage worth it? Or is there part of society to whom marriage is worth it? And now they're talking past each other.
Virgins. All right. So you're going to say very few. So you know this.
7% age 22 to 34.
7%.
Yep.
Okay.
Do you know what?
So now we have.
Do you know what a baseline for an argument is?
That was the baseline.
Yeah.
You want to say now? Do we want to increase the body count?
Yeah,
because
yes,
if you're looking,
that was the whole point of the baseline of the argument.
So right now, if we can pull up how many women in Gen Z, because this is marital age women, would have a body count lower than 5.
No,
because
millennials
now
are also marriageably aged. What do you mean?
Okay, millennials, younger millennials. Okay, because there's no point in older people getting married. They're not procreating. All right, they're gonna have 1 or 2 kids.
Older
that doesn't help us.
Procreate.
Not that much. All right, they're gonna have 1 or 2 kids. All right, listen. It said in the Bible, in your Bible, it says be fruitful and multiply, not add. All right, we're not adding one little autistic kid. We're adding. We're multiplying.
That would be multiplying.
No, it wouldn't be multiplying.
Yes,
having
it would.
One little bright ass
kid.
If
you have 3 and you have 1 more, that's
all right,
multiplying.
However, multiplying by 1. All right, that's
so
not the answer.
multiplying.
Okay, listen. We're multiplying by multiples. You know what I'm talking about. Now, listen.
Yeah, that is a multiple.
Hold on for a second. You want to convince me that there's going to be women of low body count in this secular world we live in to make your scenario work, to enforce women to have sex with their husband from the pulpit. Yeah. Do you see? Yeah. This is very strange.
Well, I have all the data to back my. Show me
from a very small percentage. I mean, it works in a podunk town. I don't know where you're from. We're talking about the metropolis. We're talking about major cities.
And how is your plan going to mitigate that? How is your plan going to mitigate that?
I don't know if you remember. I asked you. All right,
and I told you.
And you came back with virgins.
No.
And you came back with enforcing sex from the pulpit.
Why do you only get half the argument? That's why you can't respond to my arguments. So let's do it again. If you want to mitigate.
Force women to have lower body counts.
You're not, dude. How's it force?
Go ahead.
How's it force?
You're the one enforcing sex.
How
with the
is
husband.
it? How
do you
are we
enforce sex-
using force?
How are you enforcing sex to the
through
husband from the
social
pulpit?
through social pressure, doofus. The same way you would with
Okay,
everything.
Gentlemen, your wife is going to have sex with you because church reverend enforced her to have
Oh
sex
my
with
God.
you.
Do you think?
Okay, please pull up the chat.
Yeah, pull
His
up the chat.
suggestion is to have a church
John Carlo, how's it doing? How's it going, man? Julius, how you doing, man?
reverend enforce you
They're
to
not
have
enforcing
burning
it.
desire to have sex with your
Enforce
husband.
requires force. Enforce is a derivative of force. You can't enforce absent force. No one's saying force.
This is how your sex is going to be had in his marriage. It's through enforcement through the religious pulpit.
No, it's going to be
this
the
is
idea.
2025,
If it's
and we're
the
still here
idea-
somewhere on Little House on the Prairie.
If it's the idea,
I would love
that
to have
women
this reality.
If it's the idea that women have and men have both, that they're not supposed to deprive each other from this, because that is how they live the life of a Christian. The case of the matter is that they try to keep themselves sexually appealing to the partner. They try to keep themselves moving towards that state where they're found appealing. That's part of that. Why do you think? And by the way,
Now, guys, there's one thing that Andrew is getting right here, guys. Social pressure does do a lot, right? Because, guys, social pressure, shame, etc., right? That's what kept Americans, married, stayed married, having kids, chicks banging their husbands. Is social pressure from they didn't want to be seen as a bad wife. You look in the third world where they have these tight knit communities, right? If you are a woman and it gets around that you're a bad wife, there's a lot of social pressure there. You know what I'm saying? So, but then again, that involves shame, and I think Andrew's forgot that shame is in short supply with these modern women, right, guys?
I keep saying force. Can you demonstrate anywhere that I said that there would be any force involved with any of this, or that it's even necessary? Enforce is force.
Correct. That's what. So I was
so
correct
where
by
is
using
the force? Where?
You tell me. You're the one.
You're
that's
asked the question.
Wait, you're the one that told me the church reverend is going to come and force marriage.
No.
and sex.
When?
You said that earlier.
No. I said the ecclesiastical authority uses social pressure.
Social pressure.
That's
to
not
make your
force.
wife fuck your husband.
No, you're not making them do anything.
Okay, to encourage them to fuck their
yeah.
husband. Okay, this.
Don't you encourage people's wives to fuck them?
I don't need to be in their bedrooms that much.
Yeah, I mean,
Whiteout. No. I think that there's no shame. See, stigma is what kept women from being whores, but back in the day. Yes, some girls can be shamed into having sex, fine, right? In some instances, but we all have to agree that shame is what kept a lot of women from putting themselves out there like that. Because there was a stigma attached to being the town bicycle. You know what I'm saying? That's where the whole purity thing comes from. If you're found to be impure, there's a stigma, there's shame with that. And there's one thing that we need a lot more of, it's shame.
If somebody
I can't force a woman to do very much.
If a woman called you and said, I don't sleep with my husband, he seems angry at me, would you encourage her to sleep with him?
I wouldn't encourage her to do anything, especially with
you
me. I don't mess with married women. That's their
brilliant.
business.
So your solution is fucking nothing. Nothing.
My solution is very clear.
What is it?
You're telling me at this particular point that you're going to enforce through social pressure. Social pressure.
That's not force.
Hold on for a second. Social pressure enforces women to be very promiscuous at this particular point. Now, you're talking about 7% of the population or better, maybe 10, that are going to fall under this category, and this is going to lead a wave of women sleeping with their husband through social pressures.
And this is the number one issue that I think that Andrew's argument is based off of the exception and not the rule. Guys, let's just grant him that the Orthodox Church or whatever, or then the Amish, the Mormons, all these fringe religious groups in America have somehow figured marriage out. Let's just say, right, that if you join that church, you're going to get a chick. Guys, what are the other 90-something odd percent of dudes supposed to do? We're out here dealing with these harlots and 304s, I think that what should happen is that if there was somehow some Orthodox Christian revolution with the chicks, all of us red pill guys might recognize that and take a chance. But until then, guys, monk mode or passports.
When social pressure quite tells them the opposite. Let me
What?
move. Let me
I don't
handle
even know
this.
what the hell you're talking about at this point.
Exactly. It's very difficult. I know.
It
It's
is
very
very
difficult for
difficult.
you. I know exactly, and very nice tactic. But listen,
It's
are
not
all-
a tactic. I'm
all-
trying my
you're-
hardest
you're-
to understand.
You're taking a very small scenario to
Yeah.
make it the large scenario. When I'm telling you the larger scenario is the reality.
Exactly. And even though, once again, Greg Adams, he was throwing some ad hominems, blah blah blah. Guys, he does have the superior position for men right now. He does. Guys, we cannot in good faith tell any guy that's 17 to like 55 to listen to Andrew's argument, right, guys? Guys, put a 1 if you agree, right? There's no reason why, especially you millennials and Gen Z, you guys are dealing with the most low down, dirty, ridiculous, foolish group of knuckleheaded broads that have ever lived. Why?
You're telling me
Both are
if
reality.
I do this, if I do that.
No,
This is
so
a
are
very
you.
small percentage.
You're doing the same
I'm
thing.
telling you about
If
what's
you get
happening.
married, you may get a
No, I
divorce.
said
you
when.
may. If this happens, then this may happen.
We already looked at the
No. If you get married, there's an over 60-something% chance of you getting divorced. And I said this on the previous stream, guys. And put a yes or a no. If there was a river and 70% of the people drowned who swam in it, would you guys swim in the river? Guys, put a yes or a no. If you're walking along and you see 10 people, 10 guys, and 7 of them jump in the river and drown, and 3 of them make it across, would you guys jump in the river? Yes or no? Thank you. No, thank you very much. And guys, us black guys, me, Rajai, Tim Hicks, it's like 80-90% cooked. No way, guys. No way.
statistics of it likely happening.
Yeah,
so that is likely to happen.
First of all, even the
Can you
statistics you
pull up
looked
the
at,
statistics again?
pull up
The
the
marriage
statistics
statistics, the
for the
divorces.
Christians. It's actually not likely, is
Overall
it?
in the United States. Overall in the United States.
Yeah,
So it only in order for it to work, you have to be.
Adama, I don't think your life is that bad, homeboy. I watched a thing on Haiti, and some people have no food, so they'll take whatever corn they have left, grind it up, and then combine it with mud and cook that in the oven and eat that. That's how bad things are in Haiti. They'll take like a spoonful or like a handful of flour, mix it in a bowl with mud, make a cake out of it, and then cook it and eat that so that their stomachs are full. Now, guys, I don't think any of us have a bad life compared to that. You know, I don't care how bad your life is, dude. In the West, there's no way we aren't eating mud cakes. You know what I'm saying?
White,
You need to break
make a
this
certain
down by
income.
demographics.
Hold on for a second. You need. Of
You want me to
course.
break it down?
So
and social
so you want to go.
economics.
You want to go. In order for your marriage to work, they have to be white, Christian,
They don't have to be white.
make money,
No.
and then also probably live in a certain region.
If it's the
now,
case,
what if that's
that-
not the
yeah.
case? Because
Yeah.
in the United States, I don't know where you live,
Mhm.
but
I can swim. You know, the whole black stereotype was I can swim. I just hate the ocean. I don't swim in the ocean, but I can swim.
in the caves
Then
and
we use
hills
the
of the United-
apparatuses.
if you take the rest of the United States, they're highly not that. That is outside of those demographics.
Mhm. And don't
So
you want
what
to
if
change
they're
that?
what if they're outside of that?
Don't
What
you
if they're
wanna-
not white
don't-
and Christian?
Don't you want to
What
change
if they're
that?
not Christian to make 100K? What do you suggest then?
Yeah. So here's what I would suggest. If it's the case that in the black community, you have more divorces than the white community, there's going to be contributing factors for why that is. I don't think that like black people are just ontologically different than white people. Do you? Do you just believe like that at their core, they're just ontologically different? Or do you think that they're the same? Because if that's the case, if we're equal people and equal people groups, then there must be some other social factors which are relating to this that increase the divorce rate in the black community that doesn't exist yet in the white community. If that's the case, we
Yeah.
would specifically target those issues to prevent that from happening, right? We're going to do this
What is
across.
it?
We're going to do this across the board.
Well,
Well,
what would
for-
they be?
for the black community, there's a bunch. One, you have a distinction in economic certitude. The second one is you got a massive abortion rate, which is super problematic. Another one is you use matriarchal structures in the family home instead
Now, guys, this is what I was saying. If you have Andrew Wilson and Greg Adams go out and have beers, guys, politically, they agree on like 90% of things. I think this marriage thing, and then the whole, a religious obligation for men to be pack mules and deal with the force. It's probably one of the only major things they disagree with. So when it comes to social policies, economic policies, I guarantee that they agree on like over 90% of everything. It's just, this is such a huge issue with Andrew and the manosphere as a whole.
Patriarchal, huge issue that you have. By the way, when it was Christian based, didn't happen. It was a patriarchal structure inside those black homes. And boy, they didn't put up with shit. Not the case anymore. So you have multiple factors here which need to be addressed. I agree with that. Nobody ever disagreed with that, though. What we're trying to do is look at the mitigation of risk. And even for the black community,
We handled that already.
if the black community moves in to these conventionally traditional churches, they still will have the same ecclesiastical authority, which will assist them in governing their marriage that white people would have. And it would still assist with the mitigation of risk. What's the alternative? It's just degeneracy, right? The alternative is just like, we'll just hump them and never get married.
See, and there you go, guys, right there. He did it again, guys. He did it again. This is what we call a false dichotomy. Because a lot of these guys, Andrew does this, guys, Matt Walsh does this. Not that Andrew and Matt Walsh are the same, but in this instance, Andrew has that kind of tradcon mentality where it's either guys are married or they're out here smashing chicks, pumping and dumping, right? Come on. That's not the case. Most guys can't do that. They just can't. Guys, it's either guys are married, they're Chad, or they're MGTOW. You know what I'm saying? And then you got that small group of incels. Incels, and then you got passports. But guys, those are the major three things, right? They're either married, they're Chad, or they've checked out. But they always think, that if you're not married, you must be some whoremonger. And guys, that's just not true.
You've been had. You've been took. You've been hoodwinked. Bamboozled. Led astray. Run amok.
El General. This is true. But guys, on this topic, you are correct. He doesn't have any credibility. Because we disagree. His worldview is completely different from ours. Guys, remember, Andrew's not a red pill guy. He's not. He's a Christian ethicist. So from his worldview, single moms are not optimal to raise kids. It's not good for society. So us men need to swoop in and save them.
Here I come to save the day.
Clown world. Per his religious worldview, he's doing the right thing by taking on a single mom, right? And he would say, hey, Seagrip, you have to do the right thing for society and for the church and all this other stuff because Jesus wants you to take on this single mom and her bastard children. Clown world. Guys, I wouldn't wish a single mom on my worst enemy. And guys, guess what? My mom was a single mom when she met my dad. My older sister's my half sister. So before I was born, my mom was a single mom, met my dad, but this was 45 years ago. Men used to get some type of social credit. Oh, you know what? That Seagrip, he's a good guy for taking on, that lady, what's her name, and her 3 kids. And what would he get? Back in the day, guys,
I can actually answer some of that.
Hold on, single moms used to know that they had to perform. They would say, wait a minute, this Seagrip guy is giving me a chance? No way. So they would be extra in shape. They'd be extra nice. They cook. They would do all these things because that was their last chance, right? Then they would tell the kids, Seagrip, he's your father now, so you don't disrespect him. You don't. Now, stepdads get no respect. None. The model, you ain't going to discipline my children. And then treat the stepdad like he's a mark. Hold on, Pyro. What's up, dude? It's good to see you.
Bomba.
And then Adama, hey man, thanks for the $20. Says, I make a lot of money, but I'm married and baby trapped. Eating those mud pies sounds delicious most days. Yeah, and you think, guys, I do believe Greg Adams won this debate on his debating tactics. Tactically, he didn't win because he was resorting to talking over, name calling. But guys, he won because his position. You just can't argue Greg Adams' position. Greg Adams' position for men is the correct one. He is correct. You cannot argue against saying marriage is not worth it nowadays. Guys, there's no way to argue. It's that. If you ask most young men right now who saw their dads, their granddads, their uncles, their cousins get cooked in divorce court, you ask them, is marriage worth it? They're going to say no. The average man says no. Guys, this argument is over with. It's over with. You know? Hold on. There was one more thing. Yeah. So guys, thanks for the $20, my friend.
You are scaring the hoes.
Yeah. I think that this is why this went so viral, is because a lot of guys are actually shocked that this conversation's happening. And then once again, they think Andrew Wilson's red pill. He's not. So when he takes this stance, people are shocked. They're shocked that he's actually saying, hey, look, men need to. And he sounds kind of like a feminist. You know what I'm saying? He sounds kind of like one of these females on TikTok that are shaming men. Secret, what are you saying?
So, in regards to Andrew's worldview, I would say if we were talking prior to 1962, maybe. But once we started going into, second and third world feminism, no. Now, with that being said, my father, the man who I consider my father is actually my stepfather. My mom, when he got with my mom, she had me, and he ended up marrying her and had 3 other children. Now, with that being said, he at no point in time did I ever feel that there was preferential treatment. As a matter of fact, I think the preferential treatment was for me. And everything that I know about being a man, a hard worker, a provider, a protector, I learned from him, and he was able to discipline. I called him daddy. And so, there was and even though I knew who my sperm donor was, there was very little to no interaction. This is the man who raised me. And so there was a level, it was, and there was respect there. And so, and I think in regards to my generation, a lot of us that were born in the early 70s and have had stepfathers, if we had really good men that stepped up, really good stepfathers, I think that
here's the thing:
that was a disturbance this day because
your mom just wasn't some single mom, just willy nilly. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing. I would actually put it up until the mid to late 80s. That's when things really, really started going down the shitter. Because before the 90s, women were single moms usually if their husbands left or passed away. That's it. If they were abandoned by their husbands. That was the 2 major reasons.
There was significant reason. Died in war. They died. There was like this whole no fault stuff, everything like that. You either was a bastard or something happened.
Yeah. But once again, guys
So
were
now this day and age,
it was rare.
I'm
It was rare,
so
but
I'm gonna let this play out because I actually have a nuanced stance, and in which I do think that marriage under the right circumstances is good, but the level of thought and preparation that you would need and preparedness you would need to go into it, the overwhelming majority of men are not up to that, and no one teaches us this. But I'm gonna let it play out because I actually have a nuanced stance. But for men like you, men like me, for the most part, there's no advantage to marriage. And we can do anything and everything single than we can in a marriage.
Well, we talked about this before, guys. There's a thing
without
called
the risk.
being red pilled in a marriage. Guys, this is a thing. Being red pilled in a marriage. You guys know how many guys have an aha moment when they're married and realize
you've been had, you've been took, you've been hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, run amok.
Guys, Adama, he's not a unique case, and you guys know how many guys stay for the kids. They get baby trapped. Guys, one of my best friends, he got baby trapped back in the day. I know because my ex-girlfriend knew his ex-wife, and at the time they were having problems. This is like 2005. She's like, it's all good. I'll just get pregnant and he'll marry me. Guys, that happened. Did you know that they got divorced 15 years later? I saw my friend. I told him that. I'm like, you do know that she said that you guys were fighting and that she was going to get pregnant, right? And he didn't know. I thought that he knew that. 15 years, 20 years later, guys. Cooked. Now, he got to the point where he had to leave because his wife was mentally and emotionally abusive. And it was getting to the point where it was him or her. You know what I'm saying? Meaning he probably ended up in jail, so he left.
Well, what good does that do for blacks? What good does that do? It just leads to more abortion. It just leads to more degeneracy. It leads to high crime rates, and the single motherhood's out of control. So, like, what are you doing to prevent any of that? Nothing. Tell me what?
Okay. Thank you. You said things that people have known for the past 45 years, but I appreciate that. Hold on for a second. Thank you for contributing to a common conversation that people know, but you offer no other solution. That's great. Now, here's a problem. Here's a problem with this. Mm-hmm. It's an if scenario. That would be great if we can go back to this. It would be great if we can go back and look at and say that blacks, when they were in the 40s and 50s, they had more stable relationships and marriages than even white folks. Here's the issue.
Okay.
Why stop at the 40s? Let's talk about 1863.
Okay.
Your tradition seems to always hit this point of 1940s where you shine this light of traditionalism that you've never lived in, that seems to be in a snapshot of something that you don't even know about. Then when I fast forward,
not even saying anything, dude.
Again, you're not listening. When I fast forward to 1970, when it falls all apart with no fault divorce, based on what I've been arguing, what happens? All that traditionalism falls apart. Why don't we take it further? Why don't we take it back to bride prices? I mean, how far in tradition you're going to go? You're only going to bang your head around 1940 and 50 because you watched a couple of movies and I Love Lucy episodes? That's not tradition.
Okay.
That was a snapshot in history that you're trying to achieve again.
So
take it back further. There's no marriages in the black community.
Let's say take it. Let's say we take it all the way back to the 1700s. Let's just say, just for the sake of it, right? And that I'm totally wrong about all this, just for the sake of.
Oh, guys, can we also agree, guys? Type agree, guys. Ass whoopings just don't fall from the sky, guys. Think about what it takes for the average dude to act, like how much crap that a chick has to talk for the average dude to get angry enough to friggin' spin kick her. Honestly, think about that, guys. Yes, there are that 2% of dudes that are just going to tiger uppercut the broad for no reason. Because in general, we know that DV is mutual, and women always break the touch barrier first. They always hit first, and they always talk mess first. That's why you never, ever open up to women about anything. Because all they're doing is saving it up for ammo for later. And then you guys get in an argument, and then all of a sudden she going to start slinging them at you, you know?
Argument, let's just say. What is your prescription to deal with any of those issues when you're telling men in the Black community to not get married? How is that going to assist with abortion? How's that going to assist with strong fathers in the home? How's that going to assist with the only demographic population?
But I guess here's the issue Andrew's missing. Hey, Secret, question for you. Chris, Mike, all you guys. How is this going to assist with the abortion rate? How is this going to assist with no fathers in the home? How is this going to assist with all these things plaguing the Black community? Guys.
That ain't got shit to do with me. Hey, that ain't got shit to do with me. That ain't got shit to do with me. Hey, that ain't got shit to do with me.
That ain't got
And
nothing
there's
to do
another
with us.
And there's another major fallacy in Andrew's argument. It's only a small percentage of the men that are knocking up all these chicks.
It's true.
And so, you know, men like you and me, and a lot of them, and the men that are on this panel, and I'm willing to bet dollars to donuts. A lot of the men that are listening to this right now, we either have no children, or we only have one, and it was from a long-term relationship. But for the most part, we're responsible with our seed. We're not out here shooting up the club, nothing all over the place. It's only a small percentage of the men. What was that clip that you were showing one day? I think I sent you a clip or something like that, where this guy did a calculation of what, a dozen, or like a dozen or so, or a couple of dozen of Kendra G's guests, and they had and they had like
kids.
between them and stuff like that. So it's only a small percentage. That's the fallacy in his argument.
Funny that
as
all
far
these
as
chicks,
that's not going to change.
All these chicks managed to get knocked up by this
Pull
guy.
out game, mate. Pull out game, man. I just don't pull out, bitch. For you motherfuckers that want to know, I don't pull out. It ain't weak, motherfucker. I don't pull out. Fuck you mean, weak, motherfucker? Said talk about my motherfucking kids. Ain't shit weak over here. My pockets ain't weak and my dick soul ain't weak, bitch ass nigga.
That's the number one guy that these chicks get pregnant by, guys. You know? They're not getting pregnant by doctors, lawyers, finance guys like C-Grip. No. It's all nug. You know what I'm saying? What a joke.
Population which can't reproduce itself. How? Can you give me a single prescription to any of that?
Let me tell you something. I agree with you on this.
I just want a prescription, dude.
Here's a problem. I agree with you. And listen, if you had any ability to provide this prescription better than Louis Farrakhan or Martin Luther King,
does that mean no?
Give me a second. Listen to me.
Mm-hmm.
These men have tried to pretty much heal this issue, and they haven't.
No, they didn't.
Andrew Wilson certainly not to. Neither will CGA. So I don't have a prescription for the Black community, because the Black community is pretty much doomed at this particular point. They have too much degeneracy. They have single mother rates at the 70 and 80%. But I'm going to tell you something. You want to come in here and tell me something about Ecclesiastics, and you're telling me about the reality of the Black community, how to fix it. Nobody's been able to fix that community. So there's nothing you can do, and I can't offer any.
Look, all I can say is, if Jesus can't fix them, we sure as shit can't. And that's the thing about us red pill guys. Guys, we're just gonna sit back, wait and see. You know what I'm saying? Sit back, work on that old Chevelle, learn how to play guitar, travel. You know what I'm saying? And let it figure itself out. Because guys, we've done everything else. Men have tried everything else in the last 50 years. There's been men's rights advocates since 1945 or something. We've done everything but back off. And this is the thing that people like Andrew Wilson don't understand. Guys, checking out is they're acting like not doing anything is not an action. Guys, if there's a casino, right? The moment you step in that casino, all the games are rigged against you, right? Andrew Wilson saying yes, but there might be this one room where the odds are more in your favor. So you got to search around. We're saying no, by getting in your car and leaving, you're better off. That's a solution. Don't go into the casino. What a joke. You know what I mean?
Solution for that.
Look,
Now, at that particular point, you're saying the risk is higher. It certainly will be higher under those matriarchal conditions. So you get no argument from me there. So at that point, where's your statistics lie then?
Well,
where's your solution then?
I'll tell you again. So I'm glad
he's going to solve the community problems here. I'd love to hear this.
Listen, again, I'm not saying
the black community problem solved by Andrew Wilson.
That says the guy who literally
I
just
would
got
love to
done
hear
saying,
this.
I have
would love to hear
0 prescriptions.
because nobody does.
Yeah,
that
well,
community
here's
is
the
here.
thing.
But I would love to hear
Here's
the
the
black
thing.
community solved by Andrew Wilson.
Yeah, so let me tell you a bunch of things that can be done which will help mitigate these
Pause
issues.
real quick.
Please
The
do.
first is
that you can accomplish.
Yeah.
Not some.
While they're talking about solution, I want your opinion on this. So I helped when Kevin Samuels passed, R.I.P. Godfather. One of the positions that I have held was my opinion that he was B-Dub's last best hope.
That's facts.
That's
facts.
I attribute it because he was trying to bring us together.
Yep.
He was trying to, like I said, he spent 3/4 of his career on social media going hard on men, telling us to be better versions of ourselves, step our game up, be someone that can qualify to have standards and demands in the whole, relationships, and hold yourself accountable and hold people that you bring in your life accountable. So he spent the first 3/4 of his career focused on men, going hard on men, and then once he started talking to women,
2 times that he went viral was talking to guys. He went viral twice, talking to 2 different dudes. Yeah, keep going.
Yeah, and so when he was talking to women, he had to go hard because it needed a major course correction, and his goal was to try to get that tipping point to where hopefully he could connect with 8 to 10% women in regards to, look, do you qualify for the man you want? And if you don't, what are the steps you are taking to qualify? Having realistic expectation and seeing things how they are, living your life based on probabilities, not possibilities.
Yeah.
And he was trying, and so he was trying to bring us back together in good faith. And the way they celebrated his passing, I was just like, you chicks don't know just how cook you are, because he was literally your best, because he was advocating the family. And the funny thing about it, he told them winter was coming.
Yep, it's true. Wow.
And so I just wanted your opinion on that.
I think, he's actually trying. He was trying to fix stuff. There's other guys that are trying to fix the community, but he was actually making it mainstream. He was actually providing a platform where the goal was togetherness that was mainstream, that was engaging people. Because I know, Sega, most of black media is all dysfunction. It's these panels on the internet where B-dubs scream at black men. It's black men screaming at each other, or black women, and a panel whining about black men. That's all it is. And he was the one guy that was saying, if you want to make the black community better, meet a black guy and have black babies. And they did everything. They tore him down. Oh, you dress nice, so you're gay, or oh, you're divorced, or oh, you're this, and oh, you're that. They did all this stuff, right? And hold on, someone had said something. Hell yeah says that the solution to both Greg and Angie's points is happening. Men are going to make out passport bros or finding first generations. The 10% doing the deed at the end will then create pockets of it. But yeah, guys, men, here's the thing that Andrew Wilson and on these TradCons can't stop. Guys, men are already checking out. How many times have we seen boys left behind? Men aren't dating. All these chicks saying, where are all the men? I'm in my 20s. Men don't approach. Guys, we're already winning. Our side, we're winning. We don't even have to do I think that we've almost hit that tipping point when it comes to marriage and relationships. Guys are not having it. There's perfectly reasonable, in shape, attractive, successful dudes who are just saying, you know what? I'm just going to stay home and build my freaking model airplanes or work on my Mach 1 Mustang. I'm done with this. Go hunting with my dog. You know what I'm saying? So, and someone else had said, anyways,
That
not some pipe dream.
That can be accomplished.
Okay, here we go.
That can be accomplished politically, and already are beginning to be accomplished politically.
Oh,
the first
that's
is
a lie.
The lie detector determined that was a lie.
Outlaw abortion. You have to. It has to be outlawed. And not by state where you can just go to the next state and do another abortion. Right. One of the biggest problems with promiscuity in the Black community is that they use abortion as a form of birth control. Same problem that you see in the white community, by the way. It's just more prevalent in the Black community. The next problem that you have there is the lack of religiosity, where there used to be a really strong core religious base of based Black men. And they were patriarchal, very patriarchal. And the thing is that it's the idea of these feminist bra-burning lunatics.
But there's no way that, guys, 90% of Black men can be religious as tomorrow, but we can't force women to do anything. That's this whole argument of, oh, well, if you really were a man of God, a woman would see that virtuousness in you and just fall in line. Get the fuck out.
You've been had. You've been took. You've been hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, run amok.
Yes, and guys, Chris Mike said the best. Guys, the Black community, when polled, is the most religious group of people in the United States. What are you talking about?
That told Black women not to be under the evil patriarchy of their men. And yet, at this point, the men are rolling over and allowing the matriarchy to take over in their own community. Is a return to traditional church ethics going to assist that? Of course it will. Of course it will. How do I know? Because it did then, just a few short years ago. I'm not talking about hundreds of years ago. I'm talking about 60 years ago. By the way, there's other things that you can do too. Getting rid of EBT, getting rid of social programs, which are designed to keep people dependent. These are all things which can be politically accomplished. Just like abortion, the starting of banning that was politically accomplished in our lifetime. And the thing is like, you have no prescriptions. Fuck, at least I'm trying here, man.
Man, Andrew, you are Captain Obvious. This is the
Well,
obvious
then why didn't you obviously state it as a prescription?
Because people have exhausted the means to be able to do this. Trust me, there have been people way better than you that dress better than you and shave their beard better than you that can do this, and they haven't been able to accomplish it. You have the Democratic Party that is highly influential. 92% of Black women voted for Democrats. That's also possibly where most of those women go to church. Most of Black churches are overwhelmingly women. It's a woman's club, and you're telling me about something completely obvious that everybody has pointed out for 25 years. You're not giving me anything new. This is a completely obvious scenario, and you believe that you've enlightened me over here, and you're waiting for me to give you a solution. Let me tell you something.
It's not about changing your mind.
You certainly would never do that. Now, at this particular point here, the unsettling experience.
You see, guys, right there. Guys, a debate is not about the person that you are debating. It's about the audience. Guys, when you are debating, all you have to do is make your arguments as best you can and refute your opponents. Even if 1, 2, 3, 4 people in the crowd go, you know what? That guy makes some sense. You've won. People nowadays are so focused on trying to make this person see that I'm right. That's not what it's about. You know,
it's that men experiencing divorce. All right. You're saying you're just going to mitigate it or eradicate it. What about the small percentage of men that experience it and go through issues like high levels of self-deletion, high levels of them not being able to recover financially ever? They're still going to experience this under your scenario. Yes. This doesn't disappear.
It'll
what
never
prescription
disappear.
do you have for those men that went to your marriage and they got divorced 33%? What do you do with these men? Okay, 20%, 30%. It still was at a high rate.
I think it would
what
even
prescription
be lower than that.
You would hope so. You would hope so. But hope is not a strategy. What hold on for a second. What scenario do you have for men that you led into the burning building when they experience separation from their children, parental alienation, high levels of self-deletion?
Yeah.
What prescription do you have, sir, that you sold? You have all the answers. Please enlighten us. What you're going to do with these men? Are you going to enforce them to have sex with other virgins that you have on the sideline?
I'll answer the question, but I want to make a deal with you that if I answer this last question of yours, that you'll actually answer when I ask you after that.
Listen, we're not in a court of law. I don't have to answer anything. I can state something.
Yeah, I know, but I'm asking if we can make a deal. That if I answer this question, you'll answer my next
question that you asked me. I'll consider.
So we're not going to make a deal on that?
I don't have to make a deal. Listen,
you don't have to. I'm asking if you will.
Possibly. So go ahead.
Possible. Okay. Well, then I possibly will hold the debate hostage until you possibly make a deal with me.
Look at that, guys.
That gives me the floor.
So we'll just sit here and stare at each other, or we just filibuster each other. Like
at this particular point.
So
you don't want to.
So I can answer
it. You want to answer it,
but you're not going to. But you're not going to answer mine. I just want that clear. You're not going to answer mine after. You're just going to filibuster and stonewall again.
I ask you the question, put it on the table.
So this is pretty simple, right? What you're proposing here. Every policy prescription which is made anywhere in any nation, with any people group, from the tribal all the way to the national level, is going to be a trade-off, no matter what. There's always going to be some people who are disaffected by it in some small percentage, and there's not a damn thing you can do about it. We don't run societies based on outliers. The second thing is, when it comes to suicide in men, particularly, one of the best ways to mitigate that is to begin the process of eliminating deployment of troops abroad. Because one of the biggest contributing factors to male suicide, including in marriage with divorce, is their veteran status. And it's because they really depend on...
How did we end up... What? Okay, he lost me here. Hold on.
Their family to assist them with what's going on mentally from the fact they've been deployed in these wars. And one thing you could really do that would help that's what the American First policy is we want to bring the troops home, no more foreign wars. That will greatly help and aid with this problem. And by the way, policy-wise, it's already been aiding with this as Trump has wound these wars down. And by the way, I'll point out
that's a good one. I like it.
I'll point out a few more things that you can
please do. Yes.
So another thing that you can do is at the national level, right? From propaganda works. I'm sure you agree. Propaganda absolutely works.
Absolutely.
If at a national level you had propaganda, which instead of showing LGBTQ flags, degeneracy, girl bossing, shit like this, which is what you see everywhere, you had institutional family units instead. Right. And that was what you saw everywhere that you went. And that was where the...
Now, that is a good point that Andrew makes, because how likely is that to happen? It's not going to. There's corporations, there's politicians who make tens of billions of dollars off of destroying the family, off of keeping these women single, off of the LDHD TV thing, big pharma, keeping chicks depressed. They spend money on cars and trips and antidepressants, IVF, all this stuff. Guys, one of the best ways is you are a money guy. One of the best ways to make a lot of money is to create a brand new market, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you create a market that wasn't there, and then you have a corner on it. Guys, the single 29 to 39-year-old woman market, corporations created this. They created these things and said, you know what? Chicks who aren't married and don't have kids, that we need to tell them, hey, you know that big hole in your heart that should be filled with marriage and a family? It's because you don't have the newest car. It's because you have some mental disorder like ADHD, and we've got the drug for it. It's because you haven't traveled enough. It's because of Oh, it's because you need to go back to school. It's all these things that they spend money on. You know,
You create a problem, you make it bigger than life, greater than death, and you poke until you get people, and then you constantly put in people's face that what you are offering is the solution.
That's facts.
Find the problem, bigger than life, greater than death, and then you aggravate, and you instill that the only solution is you.
Yep, that's true.
Social status was at the top down level. That would really help change people's.
I think that's why FOMO is like one of the craziest terms. Like, secret. You remember, guys, like back before we had the term hating? Hating is like one of the most is one of the best words that's been invented in the last 30 years. Guys, what did we say before hating? Why are you hating on me? Because that it sums up the behavior so well. It's kind of hard to think about what we were saying before that. FOMO, guys, is the ultimate summation of everything wrong with modern women's thinking and why they can be taken advantage of. If you can give women FOMO when it comes to your product, you're going to make billions.
Psyches around the same way they were indoctrinated towards the degeneracy, same way you can indoctrinate them out of degeneracy. It's how we got a whole nation to smoke. And it's also how we got a whole nation to quit smoking. So the thing is, like,
and Andrew is right, because it's just not going to happen.
Really are good prescriptions here. And the only thing I get from you,
wait a minute,
hang on,
we're talking about self-deletion of men.
Almost done.
Okay.
Yes, that'll help with self-deletion of men. Yes. And it's one of the biggest contributing factors. Single motherhood, another huge contributing factor. These are all things which we need to mitigate. And by the way, these are all great prescriptions. You said I don't have none.
No, for a second. That's what you said. Now, here's the deal. These are great prescriptions. I happen to live in the time that you're talking about when the FCC didn't allow degeneracy. And I was able to live through the time where they started to allow it. So I, unfortunately, was able to see a time where America was great, and now we had dysfunction. So I agree with some of those things. That took place probably 40 or 50 years. It would take a very, very unique scenario for that to occur when you have Cardi B and this type of music out here. And she's a single mother divorcee with a man that is having babies.
See, now that's a good argument.
Okay, so how
that's an actual argument.
Hold on for a second. No, that's something that you agree with. That's okay.
No, that's
okay.
An actual
okay.
argument.
No, it's an agree. You just agree. You can be humble enough to say you.
That's an actual argument.
Jessica, Switzerland's in the house, man.
Hello.
Good to see
Can you hear me?
Man. Good to see you.
Can you hear me all right, guys?
Yeah. If it's not one finance guy, it's two, right?
No, I saw the topic, couldn't resist to
yeah,
join
dude. Yeah, the floor is yours, man.
Yeah. So can I just give my take on it?
Sure.
So from what I understand, both of them are in the wrong, you know. And why I'm saying that is that Andrew, from his standpoint, he's trying to be a defender of marriage, but he is defending a marriage which no longer exists. It's no longer as it was built and thought as a useful tool, you know, for society. Because nowadays, the current marriage is a corrupted tool. You know, it has been corrupted by the easy way to divorce, with the fact that vows are no longer maintained by women, so on and so forth. Okay, so from this standpoint, he's like trying to convince CGA to use like a parachute which has holes in it. You know, that's what he's trying to do. Even if back in the days the parachute was working fine, but nowadays it doesn't work anymore. So that's why Andrew's wrong, and CGA is wrong because his solution is to go he's advocating for a free agent lifestyle. Okay, but it's a bit short-sighted, because if he has a daughter, and let's put ourselves in that position, let's say that we have a daughter who's about to turn 18. Okay, how would we like to protect her? Okay, I think the best outcome would be for her to find a husband who will protect her and take care of her eventual family. I think we can all agree. And CGA, his method would be to encourage people just to go and procreate, just to live a life of decadence, you know.
See,
And wait,
I gotta
let me
stop
just
it.
finish.
Wait. This is where I disagree with you, right? This is where history. It's not short-sighted because we have things like in Kentucky where they passed the 50-50 custody law. Something triggered that to where they took power from women and gave it back to men, where if they get divorced, you automatically do 50-50 custody, right? And the divorce rate went down 30%, right? So
that's good.
So okay, and then also too, right? It's not living a life of decadence. Andrew Wilson did this earlier where he was saying you're either married or you're banging chicks and snorting blow. Men are just checking out and just being by themselves. They're working on their old car. They're just not engaging. So the decadence thing, it's married, Chad, or being by yourself. Those are the three things. Yeah.
Working on your old Chevelle and stuff like that, that doesn't create the next generation. Okay. And we need to have a continuation of our species, right? So what CGA is recommending and what you are recommending will doom us in a way, because it will make us end as like. Let me just finish. You know the story about the rats who lived in paradise in a way. Do you know what I'm talking about? They made an experiment where they created an environment where rats had no predators, infinite resources, and no danger in a way. Okay, so what happened is that they got lazy. They work on their Chevelles. The rats, they just did nothing, and in the end, it created a kind of a very it doomed the rats in a way. So that's why I'm saying CGA. What he's offering is short-sighted because he thinks only about the men. He's right, because we as a man, we should not currently entertain the thought of marriage. You know.
But here's the thing: by your worldview, we're the only ones thinking about society. Women aren't. It can't be where only half are trying to fix stuff. We've tried. We have men's rights activists. We've done that. Everything. Checking out. Here's the thing: it's thinking about the long term, because what's going to happen is happening now. Enough men will check out of society. It's going to create an artificial rock bottom where there's going to be a crisis.
I agree.
And the women will have to they'll have to sweeten the pot to make men come back.
But this is the hard way to do it, AJ. And I agree with you. It will be, in a way, one way or another. If worst comes to worst, that's what will happen.
Yes,
okay? But we should avoid it.
Artificially inflate that than have it actually happen long term. Because look at Japan. Japan's cooked. In 100 years, if they don't fix something quick, there's going to be no Japan. Can
I give my solution? Just remove
walking away. All we need is what the tipping point, 17%, 18%. Enough men need to walk away. It's so bad that CBS, the public news, is saying men are being left behind. We need to separate ourselves enough to where it's going to force them to woo us back.
I agree. They should come back begging on their knees. I agree.
Yes.
But we can make it even better and even faster, because let's face it, we can do whatever we want. We are men. Okay, so we could just repeal the 19th. No more voting. Okay, we just put laws into place to, in a way, repair and restore the marriage contract and make it so that a divorced woman would be seen and shunned by society. We just stop letting them vote for garbage laws which are short-sighted, only worsen society and stuff like that. In a way, we just have to take matters in our own hands, okay? And we backtrack the voting. That would be a better solution.
We didn't let this happen. We just can't unilaterally decide. We agree that there's a small group of powerful men that are using government and women to redistribute wealth from us to them. We didn't do anything. You, me, Seagrip, everyone in the chat, we can't fix this. The only thing here, how do we teach Gillette a lesson? How did we teach Disney and all these Hollywood
Budweiser.
studios who were going
No, you're right,
broke?
AJ. I
We
think your
voted
solution works.
feet in our wallets. Now, I need you to explain to me how, other than us taking our labor and our time away, how are they going to consider getting rid of
this
no
works.
fault
No,
divorce?
this works.
Here's the thing.
This works.
I believe that if they get rid of no fault divorce, is the quickest and easiest way to make a major problem.
Exactly.
But what's
Exactly.
the incentive that women have to give their power up, and these rich industrialists making money? What incentive do they have?
I know which one. They will not die alone in misery and with the dog. That's the incentive. They will have to admit, and they're currently admitting that they need men. Okay, they want a husband and stuff like that, and all this feminist mumbo jumbo is about to be completely out of fashion in a way. Okay, you'd agree with me, no?
That's
it's starting to go out of fashion right now.
What
the
do
woke,
you do to someone who's taking something for granted?
Well, you take it away.
That's what we're saying, and you're saying that there's something wrong with what.
No.
What I'm saying.
I know your solution works, but it's a bit like hard love in a way. Okay.
No, I think that we've tried everything else, Jessica. We've honestly tried everything else. We've tried everything but
I think
this.
we agree. It's just I think there are several ways to make things right again. Okay.
How?
And
how is the average guy getting up and going to work gonna make things?
No,
how?
That's the thing. We have to make it clear to women that having a child out of wedlock is something which is not modern and fun and to be encouraged. Okay. Having a high body count is also something you should be ashamed and embarrassed about as a woman, and that's the main I would say the main areas, weaknesses in our modern women these days. You know, they are completely out of touch with moral concepts, which because they have no fathers. They have no fathers in their life.
But here's the thing: Nug and Gavin are still banging single moms, right? If quality men en masse ignore the women now, they will have to make the product get better, and the government will have to incentivize men. Because
well, for me,
because we're going to remove ourselves. We've had men's rights advocates since the 50s and the 40s. We've had men try and do all this. Because women have power, they're not going to give it away. So this is what I'm saying.
They don't have power. I disagree with that. We have the power.
What?
As you said, we just stop working for a day. We stop working for a day, and we see them panic, and we see how they react.
But that's what I'm saying. That's the most powerful move that you can do. Is because remember, in marriage, right, guys, who has the power? The buyer or the seller? Who has the power?
The seller, no.
The buyer. The buyer always has the power.
I didn't get. Who's the buyer in the marriage? In this example,
they have to get us to propose to them. Women.
Yes, so I'm the seller. I sell marriage, and they can buy it. They can accept or not.
No. But they have to prove themselves worthy of us to propose.
Okay, so they're the buyer.
They don't propose. No,
for me, the women are the buyer.
We are the buyer.
Okay, well, not today, no. I think we offer marriage and they accept it or not.
But here's the thing, though: we have to offer marriage first, because they don't propose to us.
Yes. Okay. I see your point. Yeah, maybe your ways
are control of sex. Men control marriage and relationships. They control sex and who's born. So when it comes to children, they are the buyers. We have to prove ourselves worthy of them to have our baby. When it comes to the ring. That's why all these chicks created the word situationship, so that they can try and have some control. You are not a man's girlfriend, ladies, until he says you're his girlfriend, period. What's going to happen is that men need to say, look, I'm not accepting this product. I'm not accepting what you're selling.
Exactly.
En masse, women will start to improve. I was saying this earlier. Imagine there's a casino, right? Because I was on a stream where this guy, he was saying that us walking away means that women are in control. No, if you step into a casino and all the games are rigged Andrew Wilson saying, well, there's one slot machine way in the corner that might hit and have you win. I'm saying if you get in your car and drive off, you've taken your power back because you're not playing a rigged game.
No, I agree. AJ.
The casino has to incentivize you to actually come back there and try.
I'd like to add to what you said, by the fact that not only they have to convince us that they're worthy of being a wife, but also they have to take it seriously and not divorce on a whim. Okay, that's two things that they have to do. But for that, they have to like come back from the sun. Okay, because they really think they're like levitating above men right now. They all think like all men are trash and stuff like that. For me, it's shocking.
Yeah.
To see them behave in such a disrespectful and ungrateful way towards men who help them on a daily basis. They don't even know how much they benefit from our help and from our kindness. Okay, and for that they have to hit the ground hard, and that's what's happening right now. Because slowly they understand that feminism was a lie. They cannot have everything. And men have some standards, and we will hold the line, as you say.
But holding the line means, once again, we're holding the line over here. You gotta separate it so you can hold the line, and that's just the thing, guys. We are winning. Seagrip, Jessica, all this. We are winning, guys. All of us didn't get married at 19 and have 3 bastard kids and work some shit job we hate. You know what I'm saying? We are standing back and saying, and that's the best part about MGTOW and monk mode. You're MGTOW and monk mode until you're not, right? But here's the thing. It's happening. That's why all these public news things are all saying, where are all the men? All these women, where are all the men? All these things saying men aren't joining the military, men aren't this. Because, guys, they're starting to understand. They are taking men for granted, and men are removing ourselves. And every time that we've done that en masse, it's worked. It's worked. Ask Gillette. Ask a Bud Light. Ask all these other things. Ask, well, we'll see how Japan and Korea work in the next 20 years, because they're cooked. They are cooked, right? So I don't know how they're going to incentivize men to actually get married and have kids. But it's not... When you said, Jessica, that women don't have to do anything in this free society. They don't. That's the thing. They don't have to do anything. And a lot of times, these women are so dumb that you have to light the house on fire for them to actually understand that they have to go outside. You know what I'm saying?
But when I'm saying they have to, it means that reality and the world will force them to accept the truth. Okay, and the truth is that they need, and it's in their best interest to have a husband. Okay, and to be respectful and submissive to his leadership. Okay, but that they will have to accept once they hit the wall, hit the ground, and they have their worthless degrees which go nowhere. Their college debt, which will crush them, and at some point, they're going to be evicted in the street, and they'll just have to say, okay, we were wrong. Yeah. And where can I find the man? And that's where the healing process, in a way, that, let's say,
and the thing is, the
forgiveness aspect will come into play.
Men aren't saying, guys. I even asked, I think a week and a half ago, if they got rid of no-fault divorce, would you think about getting married? And a lot of guys actually said yes, because it's the government. It's the no-fault divorce. It's the breaking of that contract so easily that adds the risk. I was even on a panel with 2 guys who were Orthodox Christians, and they were like, I said, you guys don't realize how much us red pill guys and you guys agree on patriarchy, on women's roles and men's roles. The issue is they just felt men need to do. What do women need to do? We can't be the only ones trying to make society better. And then also too, he goes, well, if we had it our way, we would take the state out of marriage. I'm like, ding, 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 ding. We would like that too, because it's the state that cooks you. If you take the state out of marriage and only make a religious thing with maybe some type of tax benefit or whatever, that takes 95% of the risk out. And I guarantee most red pill guys would go for that. And it's so funny that they like Jessica's red pill, Secret's red pill. Guys, remember, we have a red pill is descriptive and not prescriptive. We all have our ways that we interpret the red pill dossier, the data. I guarantee that Secret, Jessica, our prescriptions might match, but we have separate ones. We deviate, but the tradcons always like to say, well, you red pill guys want to, they think we're all Myron Gaines. We got to bang 50 chicks and you got to do this. None of us have ever said that. But because they think that they have their own united worldview, that we have ours. All we're trying to say is red pill is about choice. You have to look at the data, at the statistics, at the anecdotes of those around you, and make the decision that you think is best. You can be red pill and be married. You can be red pill and have a girlfriend. You can be red pilled and be a monk. All you have to do is make sure you do what's best for yourself.
Can I just say what I would do to help heal, let's say, this generation? I would how often women give their standards, like bare minimum and stuff like that. We should just write a few lines of men's requirements for a wife, and just took like a sex ed course, in school or whatever, and we just say, here's what you have to do to find a husband. You have to never be divorced. You have to be under 30. You have to be no children. You have to have a healthy weight, be active, and you just give them 10 points or whatever. And it's the line we hold, okay? And we just say to every young girl, you want a husband, you want a family, you follow this road, and it will hopefully get you the best outcome in life. If you want to do something else, don't come and complain. And in a way, I would forbid any kind of remarriage. Like if you've been married once and you're divorced, that's over. You cannot marry again. I would not allow any marriage where there's a child out of wedlock, stuff like that. I would be very, in a way, strict, because that's how they would learn, and that's how they will have, in a way, to pay the price that men expect.
Well,
that's what
I think that you're very idealistic in thinking that somehow these chicks don't have this knowledge.
At least
right?
we want them.
They
have it.
They
don't.
Girls,
they don't. They never ask.
I'll tell you this.
They never asked the men's standards.
My sister saw my parents married, and she never got married. Think about how all these girls who are single in their 30s, 40s, who came from perfectly intact 2-parent homes, they just don't care. They don't care, and there's all this brainwashing where boomer women said that. Don't be me. Don't be your grandma. Be strong and independent.
I am woman, hear me roar.
Well,
numbers too big to ignore.
Even though you saw me and your dad live this great life and raise 4 kids that all went to college and are all successful, don't be me. That's what you don't want to do. So
yeah, but that's
they
a shame.
looking at this data.
They don't have a good female model to follow.
And once again, guys, this is
sad.
The easiest way to fix this is, guys, this is none of our concern, right? Too much they focus on what the men aren't doing. And what we're saying is, us red pill guys, sit there and make yourself the most successful version of yourself, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, financially, physically, and just do what's best for you. If you think that maybe 20 years things will be fixed, if you think you got to go to friggin' Thailand or go to Colombia, do that. Because if women don't have to do anything, guess what? Men don't have to do anything either when it comes to relationships. When it comes to marriage, relationships, yeah. Yes.
You guys went over a couple of different things, and I just want to bring up just one point to what you guys were kind of talking towards the beginning. So first, prayer serenity. Change the things that I can, accept the things that I can't, and the wisdom to know the difference. You guys have heard me say many times, in order for things to change, you have to change. In order for things to get better, you have to become better. don't ask for less problems, more help, develop more skills. Now, in regards to prescriptions, there's two ways this is going to resolve. So one, organically, and that's where we're becoming a better version of ourselves. We're setting standards, boundaries, what we will and won't allow in our lives and in our relationships. And we are protecting ourselves and our assets through legal means, trust, prenups. And so there's that aspect of it. Now, in regards to organically, if things keep going the way they are, and you alluded that when we talk about Japan, Korea, remember, government money comes through taxation. That means they need people actually working and earning revenue and paying taxes on that revenue. The fewer people we have working and in the society means the less revenue generated. Right now, we're at $37 trillion in debt. And I think our unfunded pensions and liabilities are around 125 or something like that trillion. If things keep going the way they are, we're projected, I want to say the national debt is going to be closer to over $53 trillion by 2035. Also, in between 2033 and 2035, they're anticipating that with Social Security, they will now have to potentially start going into the principal to start paying out entitlements. And so it is and so I say all this to say is that in regards to women being able to use government to subsidize their life poor choices and bad decisions to where they do not need to
Hold on.
cooperate.
Hold on. Evil Eddie, I was just talking to my dad about this the other day. You guys remember Secret, Jessica, our entire lives, if you're like over 40 or like from 35 to 40, we heard about the overpopulation thing the whole time. Overpopulation.
It's false. Yeah, it's false.
Yeah,
It's false.
It's false. Guys, guys, we are most of the world other than Bangladesh, India, and like Sri Lanka, everywhere else is below replacement.
Yeah,
I think a bunch of other African places are doing well too, but most of the world is below replacement.
Yeah, especially
so
the
guys,
modern Western one.
if things don't change, and especially with mass migration to the West, all these immigrants that they're saying, "Oh, it's going to solve the birth rate problem." So within 2 generations, they aren't having kids either.
AJ, can I add to that? Is that why do you think we have this idea that we have enough humans on this planet? I don't need to add to the mess. Why? Well, it's just to justify the deletions of modern women. Modern women have to convince themselves that the fact that I delete my baby is a good thing for the planet. That's the mental gymnastics they have to do to just be guilt-free about what they're doing. You know, that's the only reason why this idea exists, and it's often a woman who says it. Okay, often a woman says, "No, I don't want to. We're already overpopulated," because she has so many deletions that it's just her way of coping. You know, but in reality, we need more humans. We're under the reproduction rate, I think, or something like that. And it's a lie. It's a lie again by feminism, which has been gleefully taken by the modern women just to be able to live their decadent lifestyles. You know, that's my take on it.
Yeah,
we call that.
Jason, let me finish my point.
Their neck. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but let me finish my point in regards to how this resolves. So one, it's going to have no choice to resolve because the well will eventually become dry. And so that's one way it's going to resolve organically. Now, in regards to legislation, now this could hopefully bring about a correction a lot sooner. And we're kind of seeing that with default to 50-50 custody. Hopefully, eventually, it'll get to the point to mandatory paternity tests at birth. But next, if we can get, when midterms come around, if we can get more Republican control and they can maintain control after midterms, and we're able to have another Republican president, because we're going to have to start making some tough decisions in this country to avert the disaster that's going to be happening. Because with AI coming on, replacements, and with a lot of these degrees becoming worthless and everything like that, and as you know, we're going to have to start making some tough decisions, and we're going to need politicians. Because keep in mind, you know, and we've talked about that. People are reluctant to relinquish and give up power and privilege.
Yep.
And so, and you're right. And women overwhelmingly vote Democrat, because Democrats promise a bunch of stuff, and they keep this system, this social welfare and entitlement thing going because they want to stay in power, because they're fleecing us, because they're shoring up their coffers by they're becoming millionaires, multi-millionaires.
I told you guys, that small group of dudes, right, guys? They're profiting these guys. How do you think these feminists got all this support when it was just a bunch of old biddies writing stuff down and making pamphlets? There was a bunch of rich corporate dudes saying, you know what would be awesome, guys? If we could flood the workforce with cheap labor. Then we can save money. And you know what else? We can make consumers out of these knuckleheads too. Yeah, we can sell more cars. We can sell more. We can have more rent. We can jack up the housing price. We can do everything. And these dumb broads fell for it, hook, line, and sinker. But here's the thing, Secret. I'm going to piggyback off this. And then I have to hit play because I got to get out of here soon. But we have already made the hardest decision that there is. Guys, red pill is actually against our nature as men. Men are naturally selfless and women are naturally selfish. The idea that men are doing a cost-benefit analysis and saying, I'm not going to get married or have kids is against our nature. We are naturally inclined to sacrifice for our country, our children, our wives. But men in the West are saying, well, this is not worth it. We are throwing our lives down a black hole. So we've made the hardest choice there is. There isn't a choice much harder to make. We had to make a choice that no other men in history have made. You know what I mean? And this is a response. See, here's the thing. People forget that the red pill is a response. People go, well, let's not forget that misandry is a response to misogyny. Well, you know what? Red pill is a response to misandry. And women do not like how we are responding. Well, too bad. And until they can woo us back over, until they can actually pitch this, because I told you guys once before, Pearly Things, and I'll go over that clip again. When Pearly Things and Andrew talked, and Pearly Things said, hey, sell me marriage. So imagine if I was a guy, sell me marriage. Andrew couldn't do it. He couldn't do it. Until TradCons and these people can actually articulate what men get out of marriage right now, men are not going to do it. But
you know how you can sell marriage. You know how you can sell marriage to a man. You say
right now
it's your only. Yeah, I'll tell you how I can sell you marriage. If I tell you marriage is the only way for you to have children, okay, that would be a selling point for a man. Okay, so if a man wants,
not in the West,
right? That's the problem. So if you enforce the fact that you cannot have children out of wedlock, then marriage will be an attractive feature for a man who wants to have his own family.
But
Because
that's
he
a
will
big
have
if, though. That's a big if.
that's the requirement. I agree with you. That's
But
the requirement.
it's not there. So let's.
I mean, it's
so
not
let's.
yet.
But
Yeah,
right
that's
now,
what we have to put in.
like I said, anyone who's like, in the context of marriage now with no fault divorce and the way custody is, men are saying, "Look, hey, I'm gonna have a kid," and then it's likely that she's gonna take the kids from me. I'll be a part-time dad, and then she'll move in Nug or Gavin, who's likely to assault or essay my children, and there's nothing that I can do about it. What man in his right mind is going to take that deal?
No one. But who told women that they can have children out of wedlock and it's okay? Who
It
told
wasn't
them
us men. It wasn't.
It wasn't us. Wasn't us.
No, it was women. It was women
Exactly.
doing this.
Exactly.
So
that's the
that
problem.
means that they don't listen to us men. I'm telling you, we can't tell them anything. Therefore, just like we can't tell Bud Light and Gillette that we don't like their commercials or these woke Hollywood movies, we have to stop buying.
No, I
How
agree.
many times Star Wars and all this stuff, toxic fan base, all these forum posts and anyone making videos, you're toxic. So what do? We stop showing up, and now Star Wars is cooked. We can't tell them anything, man. We have no what we have ultimate power in the same way that buyers on the market. If we ultimately the market decides, right?
We have the final say, and that's the
Yes.
thing. We
And
have
the
the
thing-
final say, and
Yes.
currently we're silent. But we know we have in our sleeve the final say. So
Yes.
all we have to do is just wait on
And
our
we're
pile of
doing it,
tires, and we're just watching them like head straight into the wall, because we know
Yes.
that in the end we have the key. You know,
Ancient
That's
youth. Some men allowed this in the West. Some men allowed this from the West. Some men benefit from this in the West. It's a small percentage, bro. You're trying to tell me that our dads who were good guys who were getting up and working and taking care of their responsibilities and were actually, how did they contribute to this?
And I would even say that it's not men, because real men would not damage our society.
Yes.
That's the thing. Those men, I'd call them roaches or cowards
Yeah,
or selfish,
If we were the
selfish
Aleuts,
heathens. You know,
Jessica,
that's what I call
Jessica,
it.
if we were the Eskimos, you know what they would do? If there was a guy who was useless, they would put him out on a piece of ice and let him float out into the middle of the ocean because he's useless.
No, exactly.
Those are the types of guys you're talking about. So
we need to just clear things up in
Yeah.
some way or another, and
Yeah.
as you said perfectly, we have the final say. So
Yeah.
all we
And
have to do, at worst, we just sit, say nothing, and watch them burn. You know, and,
Yeah.
and
But
then
here's
we're
the
gonna
thing,
go
Jessica,
from there.
we have plenty of time. I'm 45. Let's just say that all of a sudden things changed, and there were women just all of a sudden got ethical, and there was some 28-year-old, or I don't know, like somehow there was a woman that or I got my passport. Because men are so desperate to get married, they're getting passports. I have time. I'm only 45 or 44. I have time.
Can I say something? I'm gonna be selfish here. I'm afraid to be part of what would be like the sacrificed generation, you know, because it would require our generation of men to completely go our own way,
Not
not
completely, though.
reproduce. And
This is a tipping
I'm
point.
just afraid that by bad luck, in a way, I will suffer for this transitional period, you know, from modern feminism to traditional patriarchal roles which work, you know. So that would be my only, let's say, sadness in this
But hey,
aspect.
Jessica, you do well. Why don't you freaking go to Asia or Eastern Europe and find a more traditional chick?
Well, I would say regarding Asia, for me, it's just I don't see myself being married to someone who has nothing in common with me, like from a cultural standpoint, you know.
But if you're,
and
but here's
I
the
don't know
thing,
if
though.
Eastern Europe is really that better compared, because we have
What
like,
I'm saying is this: if you have traditional values, right? Because you live in the West, I think someone that's as conservative as you are would actually have more in common with someone that's from a more third world, traditional country as
There are
far
ways.
as values go. I mean,
But
I've
I would have
traveled
to
a
go.
lot. You probably
I'd have to go
too.
far and beyond, to
But-
accomplish
but-
my
but
desire,
hey,
which would
hey.
be normally locally available.
But if
That's
it's-
sadness.
But then maybe Switzerland's different. But you've seen Sweden and Norway and the UK and stuff.
Mm.
What are those guys supposed to do? They're cooked.
No, they're cooked.
They're cooked.
I mean, the Western Europe, like the US, are cooked. I mean,
I
I've
think
heard,
Switzerland's the only place there that actually has its head on straight.
no, I mean,
Everyone else
it's
is
the
cooked,
best of the worst. Let's
Yeah.
say, let's put it like
All
that.
right, guys, let's get into this
Yeah.
one.
Have to be, you don't have to belittle or attempt to belittle.
Well,
I'm here a grown
I'm
ass
not.
man.
The argument
Just say
is
you agree.
propaganda
Hey,
takes
listen,
time.
listen. Just say you agree. You wanted me
It's
to
not
answer
a matter of
question, just say
agreement.
you
It's a
agree.
matter of
Just say
recognizing
you
that was an
agree. It's
argument.
okay, sir.
It's
I know
the
you,
only
I know you're
argument
not
you've
used
made
to
the whole
somebody
debate.
across from you. No, just say you agree. You can humble yourself in the sight
I
of
don't
me.
agree.
Now,
It's just an argument.
You agree.
It's
Be a
just-
big boy.
No, it's
Be a
not.
big boy.
I don't
Now, listen,
agree, but
hold
it's
on
an
for a second.
argument.
Here's a second. Here's a second.
Okay.
See, in this extra that Greg Adams is doing, be a big boy. Why? Guys, topic-wise, Greg Adams won, but debate tactics, Greg Adams lost. There's no reason to do this. There's no reason to do this. He's kind of talking like a chick. You know what I'm saying? Like this shaming, passive, aggressive, overt insults. You know what I'm saying? And guys, I like both these guys. I've only watched Greg Adams when he does other people's shows, but I don't really watch his content. I know of him, obviously. I like them both. Guys, don't let this conversation don't disqualify both these guys because they disagree on this. I actually have been watching Greg Adams more since this one, and Andrew Wilson's my favorite person to watch on the internet. You understand? So they both have good things to say. And guys, any good man is never gonna either or people, right? They both think that they're doing good for society and for men. They just have different mechanisms, So
You're telling me it's going to take 50 to 100 years.
No.
I ask you about a man that's considering taking his life today.
Mhm.
You're telling me about propaganda machine. Okay, there are men here that are been abandoned from their kids. They've been alienated. I'm talking about today. I'm not talking about in the church. I'm talking about today.
Okay. I'll answer
You're
you
telling me
today.
about some scenario where you're going to change liberalism and bring in righteous conservatism. That's not going to work today. We
And
need
he's
solutions.
right. That's not going to work today. He's correct, right? It's not like all of a sudden you're going to Thanos snap the majority of the population into being Andy's particular brand of Christianity.
For men today, not 50 years from the turning point meeting. Okay. At this point, today we have men that are in dire need of help.
I agree.
They're going through unsettling situations and divorces.
Mhm.
This is who I speak to. And you keep telling me obvious answers about propaganda and changing this and going to church. This sounds great on paper, but that doesn't happen today. You don't start that today. Can you give me a one solution you got that starts today, Mr. I got all the solutions?
If
We
you-
can start today.
Yeah. If you assist with funding MRA groups today who are trying to legislate and get legislation passed today to create preventative measures for those men today. Now, if you ask me, can you do anything about a man who might be willing to blow his head off right this second because he's already going through the events of divorce, which I had nothing to do with, wasn't there for, could never do anything about?
Nobody can do
Can you
anything about
prevent?
it.
Of course, nobody can. But that's built
Even
into
your righteous
but that's
ecclesiastic
built- that's
reverend
built-
from the pulpit.
Yes, but it's built into the question. What you're building into the question is probably the worst framing ever. Andrew, if somebody right this second is willing to do
Here we
something
go.
bad,
Here's
can
the-
you stop them?
Here it
It's
comes.
like,
Here it comes. Look at the
I don't
scenario.
understand.
But your scenario is
Yeah.
to change MRA funding when women outvote men 60 to 40%, and you have women lobbyist groups and zero men lobby groups. That's what you're telling
That's
me.
what
No, you do have men's lobby groups. They're just small and they get crushed. every time men organize, they get crushed.
We're going to change to fun MRA groups. When
Congress
MRA
makes
groups-
the law,
hold on for a
not the
second.
voters, sir.
Hold on. When
Congress makes the law.
MRAs are on some terror lists. Yes.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
you're telling me that they're going to start just switching funding? We're just going to switch funding over here
Yeah.
to a terrorist organization,
is-
according to some of these websites.
Yeah, I would say
this is just a pie in the sky.
know,
All
it's
your
funny.
solutions are completely
Not
pie
only
in
is
the
it
sky.
not pie in the sky, but I'll give you an
Absolutely,
example. I'll give you an example.
The least possible situation that
Well,
can
I'll
occur.
give you an example of where it's already happened. So I would argue that the traditional churches are
Guys, I won't have a live stream tonight because I have plans tonight. So I'm not going to do a second stream tonight, guys. So
MRAs, that they are men's rights advocacy groups, and that's where traditional masculinity is mostly found today.
and they get cooked. They get cooked. They get cooked.
Where men are even allowed to be masculine.
There's
hang on. Let me finish my point. And it is the case that those MRAs, in this case, the traditional churches, already got abortion rolled back, didn't they? They're already moving these things back. They're already at the forefront of fighting degeneracy. They are also the ones who are at the charitable forefront of helping those same veterans who are blowing their heads off when the government doesn't even pay any attention to them. When by the time the government was all done doing any of these reforms, when it came to veterans associations, it was those pesky old traditional churches that from Sky Daddy that you hate so much. They were the ones on the forefront who were actually assisting those people and not doing that. While you asked me this question, Andrew, what can you do right this second for a guy who's going to blow his head off? Well, probably nothing, but neither can you.
Of course
But
not.
at least we could do something about that not happening to others.
Okay, so that's very easy to accomplish in red states. And red states overwhelmingly were the states that got those things passed.
Yeah.
They were already going to get it passed without the interaction of these so-called righteous individuals.
That
you're
was
saying.
done
Hold
at
on for
the
a second.
federal level,
Now
not
let's
the
just
state level.
through Donald Trump.
Yeah, the
and alike.
federal
Now
level.
watch
It
this.
doesn't- it has nothing
But
to do with red
California,
state.
Nevada, these
Uh-huh.
are all states that you can easily drive to and get it done because they're red,
Which is why we
or
need
they're
a
blue
federal
states.
ban, yeah.
And at that particular point, are we going to get a federal ban? Do
Yeah,
you
we
believe we
very
have
possibly could. Yeah,
possible?
it looks good. It looks
That's not going to happen, guys. There's never going to be a federal ban. Come on.
The lie detector determined that was a lie.
It looks good, but
Yeah.
we don't have it today. All right, so we don't.
You
we're not
can't-
again. We don't have it.
So what do you
and
wanna
more
do?
than likely,
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you.
Uh-huh.
You said it's possible, and I say more than possible. You're not going to get it. All right. So at that point,
That's what
now
they
you
said
have
about
an
Roe
issue.
v. Wade, and they were wrong.
They're wrong today. They're wrong. Possibly, we possibly might get it, but California is they're not doing it. I can drive to California
If there's
right
a
now.
federal ban,
When
they
there's
can't
a woman that
stop
can
it.
drive it. I could take a woman to Nevada.
Yeah,
You can
but it's
take her to
already
many
decreasing
places
the
right now.
rates. It's already working. Like, what are you talking about? It's already effective.
All it does is just send women to another place.
And
They're
it
gonna find
reduces the amount of abortions.
It reduces it So now
significantly.
we're not. That's all we're talking about. Reducing it. We're
Yeah.
talking about now the unsettling experiences.
So do nothing?
We're doing something.
Yeah.
We're doing something. I'm informing
Yeah.
people. I'm informing people. I'm giving people the information.
To do what?
And you're telling me
What do
a
you
pie in
wanna
the sky
do?
solution that might take
Tell me
forever.
what men should do.
I'm telling you what they're
What?
doing. All right. At this particular point, this
Yeah.
is the question that you've been wanting to ask me. All right. I put out a book called 52 Things That Men Should Do Prior to Considering Marriage.
Okay.
What it does is take it through a step-by-step approach
Uh-huh.
of what they need to look out for just to detect.
What is that?
Hold on for a
doing
second.
right
Hold on for a
now?
second. Just to detect this man's considering. I've had plenty of men that said they were considering marriage. They found the red flags
Uh-huh.
because of my book, and they stopped getting married to a woman that eventually they saw would have been bad for them. That would have cost them hundreds of thousands of dollars. So I'm doing something very positive. Now watch this.
This is
You
great.
mitigate the red flags. You allow
Mitigate the
men to
risk.
understand what the process of marriage is.
Mitigating the risk.
Then you're going into possibly telling them what the state is involved in, how your children are affected, parental alienation, the odds of self-deletion,
Uh-huh.
and so forth and so on.
So
So
to-
that's an
So I want to
obvious
make sure I got this right.
opportunity for men to learn.
So I want to get this right.
You're telling me
What
a pie in
you're
the sky
doing-
possibility of changing
Yeah,
laws
so what you're
when women
doing-
outvote men 60 to 40%.
Yeah. So you wrote. It doesn't, dude. You don't even understand the political process and how it works. Voting itself, when you're talking about
lobby groups.
yeah, you're
What
talking about
men's
lobby
lobby
groups
groups?
and
What men lobby
NGOs.
groups? What male lobby groups do they
The
have?
traditional churches.
Okay, we're back to church again.
They're the ones
Okay,
who
we're
do all
back-
the lobbying on behalf of men.
They're doing it on behalf of the men that they.
Wait, what?
You've been had. You've been took. You've been hoodwinked. Bamboozled. Led astray. Run amok.
Yeah, I Love Bread too says that we live at a feminist point in time where even the trad con women self-proclaimed non-feminists get the big bucks by stomping on men. Facts. Tommy Lahren, Laura Ingraham, Megyn Kelly, all these dunderheaded broads. That's facts.
That follow them. That's not on
It's
behalf
for
of
all men. This abortion
It's
ban
typical-
helps
it's
all
typical-
men,
It's
not some. Their charities to men who are going to kill themselves helps all men, not some.
it doesn't help all men in that situation.
Yes,
it helps
it
the men.
helps.
Because listen,
Yes, it
I'm going to
does.
tell you where it doesn't. There might be a woman considering getting an abortion, and he wants to keep the kid. He has no mitigating risk.
They're the only ones trying to change that.
Exactly. Who is?
The traditional
You're saying the
churches.
traditional churches.
Yes.
All right. At that point, that doesn't help him.
Yes, it does help him.
So you're saying at that point, it's only the traditional church when you have hundreds of female lobbyist groups and you have them out.
They're the
voting
ones
men.
combating those
And
female
that's it.
lobbying groups.
And
Yes.
that's it. How are they doing? Only the red
They're
states.
doing great.
Only the red
No,
states.
at the federal level, they're doing great. You're
What a
wrong.
mess.
You can still go to other states to get it done.
Yes, but we've still
this point.
managed to mitigate it even in those states. It's a
That's-
war. It's a political war.
right.
That's how it works.
Exactly.
And not only that, let's point this out. Your whole solution here, I wrote a book to help mitigate future events. Oh, great. Andrew, what are you trying to do? Help mitigate future events.
Exactly.
Oh, right now, right this second, what can I do to help? Andrew says right this second, if guy has a 357 in his mouth, he's going to pull the trigger, he can't do anything. You're totally right, but neither can you by your own admission.
Correct.
So there we go there. When we're looking at the future, though, and I say, let's do all of these different prescriptions, which we can actually politically accomplish and move towards, you say, that's all fucking pie in the sky, blah, 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 blah. I ask, well, what can you do as far as future prescriptions?
And
You
I
say,
told them-
blacks are fucked, and I have absolutely no prescriptions for it.
No,
Sorry,
actually, I
guys.
wrote a book, 52 things that men could consider
To
prior
mitigate
marriage.
divorce risk. The
So
same thing I'm
find
trying
out
to do.
if they're marrying the right woman. So you're just
Mitigating
mad. You're
divorce
just
risk.
mad that I have one solution, you have another, and we don't
Mine's
agree with
better.
it. That's what you believe. I think yours is pie in the sky. So that's just
I
your
don't see
own
how it
belief
could be
system.
pie in the sky.
When
It's
not
affecting
working.
way
You're
more men
asking-
than your book
you're
is.
asking- no, my book actually has 15 plus.
I just don't get it. I just don't. Guys, this whole time they've been talking past each other. And once again, Greg Adams is talking about the way things are. Andrew Wilson saying, if this happens, things could be this way. They're arguing past each other. He's saying Greg Adams doesn't have a solution. Well, Greg Adams' free agent lifestyle is a solution. It's once again, society's taking men for granted. So guys, take men away. And then they're going to have to woo us into coming back. Andrew's solution, which is how do you get more people to just magically become religious? He's talking about something that should happen from his worldview in the next 25 years. And we're talking about solutions now. If there's a young kid right now that was 22 years old and you had advice, would you tell him, hey man, focus on yourself, make yourself the best version of yourself? Or hey man, one day society might be more religious and things can get better. How is that a solution? He'll be like, okay, but what am I supposed to do now? So
I was saying, you have how many? Hold on. You have how many? You have how many ecclesiastic marriages that your church pastors are going to go into the bedroom and enforce marriages? You can't even give me
Nobody
a number.
ever proposed
You couldn't
that.
even
You're
give me
such
a number.
liar.
You couldn't
It's
even give me a
such a
number.
liar.
You said that. Give me a
Nobody
number.
said
Okay.
that the pastors are going to go in the bedroom and enforce anything.
Okay, social pressure.
Stop lying.
All your social
Just
pressure.
stop lying,
listen,
dude.
listen. Where's your social pressure? How many people do you have in your ecclesiastic marriages? How many people got married under that?
Millions.
Please give me a number.
Millions of
Show
people
me a
have an
number. Go-
ecclesiastical
can you type
authority.
it up?
That's
Go ahead and type it up.
people have an ecclesiastical marriage. They may have a
No,
state cert also.
under your scenario.
What do you want me to type?
We don't.
How many?
We don't
you don't
know. We don't know exactly.
But you're sneezing at my number, but you don't know at
We
all.
know for
hey, listen,
sure
there's a lot
that
you don't
even
know.
if it was
There's
the
a
case
lot
that
don't
you
know.
never adopted the state,
But you don't have any number.
even if it's the
Can
case,
you-
hang on.
what's
hang
the
on,
number?
Hang on. Even if it's the case that all they ever did was get a state marriage certificate and never even followed that portion of what I'm saying, right? the number is still lower by the state's own numbers. It's still lower in
Can you
traditional
give me
churches.
a number of your marriages that you're proposing that we're all going to follow?
We don't
so
know.
they
We don't
can
have
mitigate?
polls
You
on it
don't
yet.
have a number.
Yeah, we don't know for sure.
I would venture to say it's very little, under 100.
Sure.
All
So
right.
what?
So now we got.
No, it's not under 100.
Okay. Certainly
No.
under 100.
No, it's not.
All right. I
Well,
don't hear
people-
anybody talking about it other than you.
Yeah, well, that's because you're not around traditional churches by your own admission. But yeah, there's
Traditional
people who have crowning ceremonies and get married by
Traditional
churches who don't get a state cert.
Traditional churches.
In fact, there might be data on that. You should look.
Please look it up.
There might be
under
actually.
your scenario.
Yeah, under my scenario. But the thing is that
Ecclesiastic
even if we
marriages under
grant,
here.
even if we were
So
to
we got
grant,
125
even
marriages.
if we were to grant it,
Yes.
still from the state's own admission, the divorce rate's still significantly lower for a reason.
20 to 30%. Okay, so
That's
it's
huge.
Still lower. It is nice.
Significantly
It would be
lower.
nice. You still have men under unsettling divorce conditions. You still have men under state-funded divorce. You still have men under child support. You still have men under parental alienation. You still have sexless marriages.
2 out of
you
10.
haven't accomplished.
Yeah. Love Bread too says it. Yeah, hopium's not good, guys. We are cost benefit analyzers, man. Straight up. That's how men are. And guys, once again, the thing about the trad cons is okay. When all you have is shaming language, right? You have nothing. You know? And yeah, Amo4 says, yeah, this moderator is garbage. Because he didn't moderate at all.
Most of these
2 out of 10.
2 out of 10 what?
That would be 2 out of 10. It's 20%, right? It's 2 out of 10 of those marriages, as opposed to your system.
4 out of 10.
Yeah, in your
5
system,
out of 10.
In your system, it's much higher.
It's the system that exists.
No, it's not.
But you're
Listen,
telling me 150 marriages. This is
no.
All of these scenarios. I have to be honest with you. This wasn't much of a debate.
Yeah, I know.
because
You
much
lost
of your,
every
no,
point.
no. Listen, much of your scenarios were
Uh-huh.
make believe. To
Oh,
be
okay,
honest
they're all
with you, they were pretty make believe.
Mhm.
You would have to have an extremely considerable movement to be able to accomplish them.
Like
Which
millions
doesn't-
of millions
which
of
mean-
people.
You would have to have
Yeah, millions and millions of people in a country of hundreds of millions of people. Come on, man. You know?
billions of people to do.
Can you pull
exactly
up how
what
many
you're-
Catholic and
No, no,
Orthodox are in the
no, no,
United
no,
States?
listen.
It's my turn to ask. I can ask him to
Please
pull
do,
up the
please
stats.
do. But that's not the number I'm looking
How many?
for. That's
Yeah,
not the
it
number
is the
I'm
number
looking
we're
for.
looking
We're
for.
looking for ecclesiastic marriages under your.
That's an interesting, yeah. Ali says that RVW didn't change things thanks to the church. It changed because corporations need future consumers. Oh, yeah. Guys, what do you think? Right? Do you think that they crunched the numbers and saw that, hey, look, we need to put these 304s in check, or we won't have any customers? Very interesting. Thanks for the $4.99.
Seriously. Garlic croutons, dude.
Scenario.
No, listen, even
That's
if it
the
were
only
the
way
case,
it works for
even
you.
if it were the case, do you agree with me that if you take the state out of marriage, that is going to assist in the reduction of
We
divorce?
can't take the state out of marriage.
Why not?
That's what you're telling me.
Yeah, why
tell me
can't
how
you?
many.
All Greg Adams has to say is yes. Guys, if you take the state out of marriage and just have it be a religious thing, it would severely deplete the divorces. Because guys, and I actually think a lot of guys would get married more because there's no state to come freaking screw you over. So all he had to say is yes. He's not conceding anything by saying yes, and he didn't say yes. So he should have said, yes, I agree. Then he should have said, but what's the likelihood of happening? Answer the question first and then extrapolate.
Many people have done it.
Yeah, but why can't you do it?
Because no fault divorce, a woman can go into divorce you, even if, because you're not under her control. The
How if you're not
ecclesiastics are under
married
the
to her?
authority.
By the state, you're not married. How can she take you to divorce court? Can you
See,
explain that to me?
I asked you this earlier. Have you been through a divorce?
It doesn't matter.
No, that's
Answer
a
the
yes.
question.
That's a yes. So you've been through a divorce.
Why does that matter?
All right,
What is
because-
it pertinent to the
Because
debate?
this is why. Can I finish? You've been telling me I'm cutting you off. You won't let me finish.
Bro, I want
this
an
was-
answer to my
See,
question.
There we go again. Oh
Can you
my
answer
goodness.
my question?
I mean, I can play the game you're playing.
You just
Can I-
won't answer questions.
Jeez. All right, listen. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I thought you were a tough guy. Listen, under this scenario,
Uh-huh.
a marriage, even if it's ceremonial, religious, it doesn't matter if she files for the divorce. You will still be going in court to fight that.
How?
That is true. Yeah. Trey made a good point. guys, these 304s will still find a way to screw you over. That is true. If it's not a divorce, it's not legally, they will find a way to do it.
I don't care. File for divorce if you're not married by the state, dude.
Listen,
can you answer my
completely missing
question?
this. You're completely missing this. This is
Oh my
what
God.
tells me you haven't been through one. Have you talked to a divorce attorney? A woman can file. You have to respond and provide evidence that you.
And guys, they do have palimony. Guys, put a 1 if you've ever heard of palimony, not alimony, palimony with a P. That's when, guys, if you live with a chick for long enough, married or not, she can file for some type of support, trying to say that, oh, she needs to, yeah, you need to help her maintain the lifestyle she's used to. Clown world.
We're not married. Now, you and your common law, you living with your kids, is going to be difficult. I'm trying to give you some information.
That's
and knowledge.
common law marriage.
Okay.
That's different. In some states, there is no common law marriage. So
That's
just
not
answer,
common law marriage.
So just answer
Listen,
one. Okay.
California doesn't even have common law, and that exists. It could be ceremonial. You could get married in Fiji. It doesn't matter. Soon as you get back here, if you practice marriage, the whole institution at that particular point, if she files, you, sir, will have to respond to that suit.
Yeah.
If you do, I would hope and pray that the judge, not God, grant you your wish. At that point, your argument fails because you then would have to say, my ecclesiastic reverend on the Little House on the Prairie granted this marriage, but it doesn't count under the state.
I didn't want to make
she
sure
can do this, and you have to respond.
Can you
to
help
it.
me with this? Because I
I'm
am
helping you a
actually
lot.
confused. So let's say a woman and a man went out to a field and declared themselves
We got
married.
a scenario. Let's say if
let's say if a
that's the
man
one.
went out to a field with a woman and declared that they're married.
Correct.
You're saying she can still go to a divorce court and divorce him.
She can file for the divorce. You
How?
have to respond. You
Yeah,
have
with
to
what?
respond.
Yeah, what does that mean though? That doesn't mean
Again,
anything.
I'm informing
What are
you.
you
What does
talking
that
about?
mean? This is how a lawsuit works.
Okay.
She's
A
a
lawsuit.
petitioner. She
Okay.
files. She says, we walked on coals. We went outside.
Yeah.
This was a union. I consider it a marriage. Everybody knows and addresses us as a marriage.
Yeah.
This is a non-common law states. We receive mail at this place. We've been living under the same roof for this many years. You will have to respond to these allegations. Now you're going to have to say on your petition, this is not true. We have an ecclesiastic marriage and a prenup under God, and we live together, but we weren't married.
Is this
that's a response to the lawsuit,
is
and
it-
then you proceed
I
to
see.
trial
Is
and
this
a hearing.
Is this a lawsuit or a divorce?
Divorce is a lawsuit.
Okay, so wait, I'm
Divorce
curious.
is a lawsuit.
Can you look this up?
Is
Can
divorce
you
a
file for divorce without ever getting married?
Oh my goodness, you are slow. You can file a lawsuit for anything.
So then it's
So
not a
anybody
divorce.
can sue you for anything.
Yeah, okay,
Okay.
but-
So if you go into there and she
So they're just
says that-
suing you?
Yes, it's
Okay,
a
but
lawsuit.
that's not a divorce. Come on,
says-
dude.
It's a lawsuit.
Can we pull this up? Can you file for a divorce without getting married? Divorce is a legal process that ends in legally recognized marriage.
If you never obtained a marriage license and your marriage was never registered, summarized according to the state law, the courts have no marriage to dissolve. You're full of
Hold
shit.
on for a
You're just
second.
saying
Hold
that
on.
they can. Yeah,
No, no,
you're
no.
full of shit.
Listen,
they can just
they
sue
have-
you for whatever.
You said they have no marriage to the
Yeah, you're
dissolve.
saying that
You
they're
still
just going to
have
sue
re-
you.
No. You still have
Come
to.
on.
You still have to respond to the lawsuit.
Yeah, but you don't have to go to the divorce court, dude.
You do.
No,
That's
you
where
don't.
Now it's semantics.
AJ.
guys, once again. Greg Adams wants to use the word divorce and he can't, but he's using it anyways. What are you saying?
So AJ, this is why it is so important to know the laws in your state. You need to know the laws in your state around marriage, divorce, cohabitation. You need to know these things. Now, the fact of the matter is, yes, there are states where you don't have to have a scenario or anything. You don't have to have a ceremony or anything like that. And this is, I think, what Greg Adams is trying to point to. I mean, reference to. But if you hold yourself out to be married, if you present yourself out to the public as married, this is my wife, this is my husband. You're cohabitating. You file joint returns. then you don't have to be quote unquote legal married. The state, if your state is one of these common law states, there are states that will recognize that as a marriage, and you would have to, and she can file divorce.
Yeah. Sure.
So they're both right. If you're in a state that will recognize it, then yeah, you're going to have to get divorced. But if you're in a state that doesn't recognize it, so I think that I don't know what state Andrew lives in. I don't know what state CGA lives into, but I'm going to give them both the benefit of the doubt and say they're both right.
Yeah.
But man, you've heard me many times on this panel talking about how we need to protect ourselves and we need to go into this like a business. And we said it many times on this panel. If you don't think marriage is a business, talk to a divorce attorney.
Yeah, that's the
Now,
smartest thing
with that
you can
being
do,
said,
man.
now what I'm going to do now, I've done the math, and there is one demographic that would benefit from marriage. Now, I'm not talking about the pre-screening, the vetting, the whole account. I'm just talking strictly numbers. If you are an average man, average income, average ambitions, and you're with a woman who is an average earner, everything, marriage is designed, in my personal opinion, for average people. Because if you think about it from a financial aspect, it normally takes anywhere from 5 to 10 years for an individual to double their salary, to double their income. And I want you guys to think about your own personal anecdotal experiences. But for most of us, if you start off making, $25,000 a year, it may take you 5 to 10 years to get to 50. If you make 50, it may take you 5 to 10 years to get to 100. So on average, 5 to 10 years to double your salary. Marriage gives you the ability to literally double your household income.
It's a wealth building mechanism as long as it stays together.
Yeah. Now, once again, I'm not talking I'm just talking pure mathematics. The reason, so when I say marriage isn't beneficial to me, here's the thing, and this is something that Kevin Samuels would advocate to women. If you are not a high earner, if you're not making two incomes, you need a man to get through, to get through life in retirement. If you're not making two incomes. Now, if you are someone who is making 2 to 3 times the average salary, well, guess what? I make enough money to replace a chick.
Yeah. And it's a liability.
So yeah,
because what you have can be stripped away at any moment, right? And even though they do say that once you hit over $225,000 household income, the divorce rate drops to less than 18%. That's an actual fact. Is that divorce is actually what middle class and working class people do, not the rich.
And I've seen that. And so one thing that I always advocate, and I know I overuse that word because I advocate, a lot of different things, but I strongly advocate knowing your numbers. I'm a numbers guy. And, and even, with when I'm trading options, the reason why I like trading options is a lot of those trades are based on probabilities. Yeah. What's the probability of my upside, the probability of my downside, and what's my upside? What's my downside? What's the probability of that happening? And is this something I need to hedge or protect against? And I find that after years of trading that way, I now tend to make so many of my decisions that way. And, I am literally a cost benefit calculator. And so as far as everything else that I said, as far as, protecting yourself, everything like that, I'm just talking in that one instance. Marriage, just from a pure mathematical, makes sense. Now, with that being said, once again, because men women marry up, men tend to marry down. So we don't need the woman we're to be college educated. You know, we'll hook up with the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker, the barista, the hairdresser, and the McDonald's cashier. You know, if you cute enough,
the thing is culturally, when there was shame and women had a stigma for having bastard kids and being 304s, women were forced by culture to be cost benefit and survival, right? They're the ones who walked away from that whole thing. They're the ones who don't understand the benefits of coupling versus the cost of being alone.
It was because
hey, what's up, dude?
It was because government daddy gave them an alternative.
Yeah. Yep. And once again, shame went away.
Uncle Sam gave them an alternative.
Yeah, us men civilized the world to where now, you know what I'm saying, they can outsource, you know, protection, provision to other men outside the house that they have to pay for.
Yeah.
Trey, what's up, dude?
Hey, what's going on, fellas? Shout out to your channel, man. Salute, good video.
Hey, man. Thanks for being here. What's up, man?
I guess SKC being up here, you know, pushed me into your algorithm. But I'm glad I found it. My first time hearing your channel. I mean, good stuff on the debate. Pretty much in agreement with you. Just some slight things, like y'all were talking about the marriage here. And I used to be a proponent of monogamous marriage and guys settling down. And just going through this journey, metamorphosis into what's happened to me, marriage, getting married again, and just the red pill, all of it, just my journey into this whole like red pill thing. Like I can't even recommend marriage for the young guys I can't recommend monogamous marriage to the young guys in good faith.
There you go.
I can't do it unless your leverage against her is abundant, meaning, you know, leveraging that you've got enough money to pay for attorneys, you know, to prevent your own downfall.
Yeah.
Because if your net worth ain't $1 million and you ain't got enough to put attorneys on retainer, you might as well just settle as a man. And I'm saying this as a military guy. When my divorce, when I went in there, you know, I had the numbers. I was a good guy. You know, I could have easily got custody of my kids if I would have had the money. But I went into the divorce court and there were 7 female clerks in there and a female judge.
Oh no, dude. He realized he was cooked. You were cooked, man. No,
my lawyer,
no moss, dude.
My lawyer leaned over and whispered in my ear, like, "Hey, man, you might want to settle. You know, let's work this out in a settlement."
Guys,
and, you know, I tell guys,
guys, it was
talking about whores, people. They're everywhere.
Yeah. And you know, you hear the Andrew Wilson types that say vet better. I'm 50 now. I've met my wife when I was 17 and she was 14. Church girl, sang in the choir, you know, good family. You know, her mom and dad were split up, but her dad remarried to a church woman, you know, and like her mother was church, you know, and all this. And that don't mean nothing.
Yeah.
Not me.
Yeah. You guys, once again, hey, Trey, secret, cook with me here, right? Because I said this earlier. Let's pump the brakes right here. Where were we? Guys, we didn't come to this conclusion lightly. Guys, the red pill it's actually against men's nature to be red pill. This is a response to our selfless nature being taken advantage of. Most men growing up wanted to have a loving wife and kids to teach their son to play ball and all that. Most men wanted to have that. But then we took one look around at these Western chicks and said no. I'm telling you, that's how crazy it is. Once again, this is how sad and pathetic that Western women are, right? If you're the only pizza joint in town and you know people eat pizza, if people ain't eating pizza, how bad does your pizza have to be? People want pizza, but yours is so bad that they're going against what they love, and that's eating pizza. Guys, what do you think?
It's funny you say that because I was first engaged at 19 to my high school sweetheart. And I was next engaged. Well, I almost got engaged at 32, had the ring and everything along those lines. And the last time I was engaged was 48, 49. And so you're right. Up until that second time, yeah, I was blue pill. I'll be, and there's no shame in it. A lot of us start our journey off that way. Even though, I was good with women and was having, my fun and everything like that, still wanted to get married, have kids, have a family, legacy, things along those lines. Now, as far as my last engagement, that was actually to a woman that I met in Dominican Republic, and I thought I found, and I thought I found.
Say it ain't so. You too. You too.
Yeah.
Que lo que, hermano?
He was down there in the DR, guys.
but here's the thing. But this is what makes me an authority, because I'll tell you the pitfalls and mistakes that I made. And I'm telling you, man, right now, unicorns are mythical creatures for a reason. They don't effing exist. And when I say that, and so when I say that, you gotta, just like a business, mind your brand, because once you start making allowances and excuses, with my ex-fiance, I literally made allowances and excuses, and I accepted behaviors that I would never have accepted from anyone here. And I made allowances for the culture, the language difference, and age. I made so many allowances that I would never have, and it was a learning lesson, and I've learned a lot. And so when I'm coaching other men that are out there dating internationally, I share these things and the things to look out for and everything along those lines. So so we all start off that journey, and
guys,
but you get to a point to where you have to evolve, and adapt.
Yeah. And guys, go where you are wanted, man. That whole community thing, no other group of men is expected to put up with the foolishness that us black men do. No way. But guys, speaking of that, here, let's take a quick little vacation here. Watch this, guys. Watch this. Trey Seeger, watch this. Watch.
I think if you give us a black Republican with a black wife, we'll probably be more accepting to it. Most of them be black with white wives, and after you know for a fact with us,
I think that's what got Obama in office.
Michelle did that. Michelle single-handedly.
Barack had a white wife. I don't think.
But Barack had a white wife. We would not. And we would not be going for him as hard as we do.
And
that's scientifically proven.
I think that's why a lot of black men didn't want to. Some black men didn't want to vote for Kamala Harris too.
Because of Doug?
That's cap. We just hated her.
Doug didn't bother me.
See?
But
look at that, guys.
You if a black male have a white wife?
Look at that.
You just said that. What you said?
I said I think if you present it to us, I think we're more accepting to it.
What you mean presented? Like just show, hey, I got a white wife?
No. How you just asked me a black Republican? I said I think we'll be more accepting to if it's with with the black wife.
You know what I'm saying? But what if you had the right message and everything, but he had a white wife?
You have to work a little bit harder.
Look at that. Look at that.
But compliment.
Because here is the thing. It goes to that thing of how can you choose black for everything but your love? I think that's really what it goes back to.
So why is not the standard for Kamala?
Unfortunately, we have that standard
for women
higher for men than we do for women. I can call that out, right? Because I can be the first. I say any day of the week. If I see a black man with a white woman, I'm like, that's that deep ass self hate, my nigga. You need to do something about that, right? Flip that same coin. I see my sister with a man. I'm gonna say girl, go where you love.
Look at that.
Man. I don't
Women
know
can
how much
rationalize themselves out of a paper
One at
bag.
a time, guys. Guys, one at a time. I knew this was gonna set Secret Bob. Here, Trey, you go first, and then
I don't know.
Secret's got the floor.
I don't know how much your audience is familiar with my content, but you know I'm a self-professed white supremacist of color, and I tell all the fellas don't listen to non-humans. I don't see those women as human. So why listen to
I'm the
them?
same way. Over here.
Yeah, they're not like. What is the point of debating them, talking to them, even entertaining their content? They're They're not. They're a different type of species.
Yeah.
So just take everything they say with a grain of salt. Take it as entertainment and laugh. If a brother is still out there, you know, just like Coach Greg Adams said at the end of this debate. I don't even know if you covered it when Andrew Wilson was for the second time trying to save the community.
Yeah.
Coach Greg Adams told him, like, brothers, when they wake up and leave the community alone, do themselves, they all succeed.
Yep, that's true.
Every single one.
That's what I did, guys. I don't do the whole community thing. I told you guys, and Seagrip knows. Seagrip, who else is black? Rajai, Tim Hicks, Dante. Guys, that's who am I missing, right? Guys, when I bought my house, I drove around to make sure that the majority of people don't look like me. I made sure that there was no, 88 Malibus on 26-inch rims. I made sure that it was not 1 a.m. 11 a.m. on a Tuesday, and there's little Uzi the baby vert blasting dudes drinking 40s on the porch, man. I made sure. If there's one thing my neighbors are, I say this. White people, the one thing they are is predictable. They're predictable, guys. If Secret, Trey, myself go to a dive bar where there's a bunch of hipsters with, flannels and they're playing darts, we can put on some music on the jukebox, play some pool, have some beers. If we go into a bar or club and it's predominantly black, there's always going to be some drama. Always.
I got another one for the fellas. Like, if you're dealing with Becky and she ain't dropping the hard R, walk away. If she got any kind of, like black vernacular, run.
Yeah.
If you go on her social media and she's listening to any kind of trap music, run.
Yeah,
she better
run.
be listening to some Morgan Wallen, some freaking,
Or some Taylor
L.C.
Swift.
Greenwood.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Some Reba McEntire. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Jonathan says, can you explain to your viewers why guys, B-dubs are okay. All of us are in a race against all of us men are in a race against each other. All other races of men have women who will, give them water, help them stretch so that they can win the race. Black men, Keisha is putting friggin' strychnine in our friggin' water bottles and cutting our Achilles. Guys, B-dubs are the worst. I say this, guys, you could Thanos snap 99% of B-dubs away, and the world would be a better place. I'm dead ass, dude. I'm dead ass serious.
Bro,
they don't do anything
I don't
positive.
even deal with,
yeah, what's that?
I said, I don't even deal with quote unquote Afro Latinas. I know my man's with the Dominican, but like my Dominican girl, she's as white as can be. I don't deal with them. Her homegirl lives around the corner. I look at her sideways because she's one of them black Dominicanas. I just can't. She's a cool chick and all, but when she come by, I just see strag. I just see black chick. Blah, blah, blah. Dominican as she talk, I just see a black chick. And I'm like, sorry, cool person and all, but call me racist. Is what it is. Got to protect self.
Guys, hold on. This a good one. Secret, Trey, let's chime in here. He says, after a certain income in class has reached race, leaves the conversation.
You've been had. You've been took. You've been hoodwinked. Bamboozled. Led astray. Run amok.
Now, are you talking about B-dubs? Because, guys, I work with B-dubs that are lawyers, doctors, PhDs, and guys, All it takes is one little mishap, one little thing, one little wrong word, one micro aggression, and all of a sudden it's
Streets. I'm a bitch from the streets. I get that money. I get that money. Bitch, give me what you got.
that hood comes out of them, dude. Guys, there was 2 B-dubs who got in a fist fight over a man at my job. At the job.
Bro,
Six-figure,
so.
high-earning black women got in a fight, a fist fight. Absolutely insane, man. One of them bumped into the other. All of a sudden, it's
I'ma kill your bitch ass, bitch.
the other one said,
I'ma kill you, you fucking whore.
it's absolutely insane.
Bro, same thing happened when I was stationed in Germany. 2 high-ranking black chicks got in a fight because one of them was smashing the other one's husband. In formation. A battalion formation, bro.
Damn. Secret, man. What you said earlier about the whole bias towards us dating out? I think you were
I was about to say something sarcastic that I was going to say. Look, doesn't correct me if I'm wrong, but doesn't Kamala have a white zaddy? But then she turned around and said, "But if she see a sister with a white man, oh, you go." And see, and that's the problem, and that's something, guys, you got to realize. Double standards are okay when it's in their favor.
Yep, that's true.
And so they don't want equality. They want superiority.
Yep.
They want they want. I once had a conversation with this one chick, and which I had to I broke it down to her. You want guarantees without risk. You want money and resources without works, and you want rewards without sacrifice.
Exactly. Yep.
That don't work for
the
me.
modern woman.
That don't work for me.
Right there. Yeah. Yep. That's true. Yeah. Yeah, guys. I avoid beat-ups at all costs, man. All costs, man. Everyone's like, "But AJ, isn't your mom and your sister black?" You know what? To hell with them too. How about that?
I love that question, especially last election. My mother's Jamaican. And bro, man, when they'd ask me that question, you ain't supporting Kamala? Fuck no. I don't know a single Jamaican that is.
Guys, I'm telling you, leave these B-dubs alone, man. Seriously. I can't think of anything positive that a B-dub has done for me other than my mom giving birth to me, obviously, because if you knew my mom and the hell she put me through, guys, man, shoot. And heaven help in our community if you criticize your mom.
How dare you?
You know what I'm saying? So
the response. No, that's not a divorce court.
That is the divorce
No,
court.
it's not. It's a
That
court
is
of
the divorce court.
it's the
Listen.
circuit court or some shit, not the divorce court.
Listen, you
got caught in 4K. You're full of shit.
That's ChatGPT.
You're full
in this
of it,
situation here, we can bring a lawyer in to resolve this and say, can she file for a divorce? You're saying what the outcome is.
Oh, and here we go, guys. There's a panel that has the red pill is dead. Guys, how many times do we hear this? It's about once every 25 months. It's like once every year and a quarter. The red pill is dead. The red pill is dead. Guys, we get stronger all the time. Because, guys, older millennials are getting divorced en masse. 35 to 43, 44-year-old dudes are getting cooked and divorced every day. And that makes our movement grow stronger and stronger and stronger.
Hold on for a second. You're saying the outcome, they can't legally enforce it. That's what you hope the outcome is. You hope the outcome is. You still have to respond.
All you're saying is that a woman can sue you for anything.
Correct.
Yeah, but that's not the same as filing for divorce
Hold on
through
for a
the
second.
divorce courts.
That's where they would file it.
No, they can't. No, they're not filing it in the divorce court.
My gosh. All right. That's where they would file it. In the divorce court. That's
would
where
file
file
a
it
lawsuit.
there. No, they would file it in the family court. Trust me. Now,
The
here's the
family
thing.
court's
Hold on
different,
for a
though.
That's the divorce court.
Wait a second.
Family court is the divorce court.
Wouldn't you have to do that under specific criteria for family court, like a kid's involved or something? You can just
correct. So in the
Come
scenario,
on,
hold on for a
dog,
second.
dude. That's
Fam-
not the same
hold
as
on, hold on,
divorce
hold on for a second.
proceedings. This is ridiculous.
I mean, you
That's
don't-
ridiculous.
listen. The family.
The only way that the red pill would ever go away is if, once again, no fault divorce, mandatory DNA tests, no alimony, no child support. If we actually had actually mitigate risk and have some semblance of what, even guys, we aren't even asking for a superior position. Guys, we're asking for equal treatment. Make it equal.
Exactly.
That's it. And they think that that's somehow biased towards the men. Please.
And here's the thing about this debate and Andrew and bad faith. We never got into like the free agent lifestyle, the JUCO, any of Coach Greg Adams' prescriptions.
Trey, if I can interject, this question that they're debating is stupid. This is a dumb question. Is marriage worth it? In what context? What do you mean by worth it? If they were to say, is it worth it now? Open, shut case. Boom, Greg Adams wins. If they say, can it be worth it? Andrew, can they should have changed the question and then had them both define marriage from the beginning. They didn't do that. They're arguing two different things in two different scenarios.
The problem is not a debate channel. There's no debate. You give your counter arguments. Okay, now open floor. There's no format for that. So the positions weren't defined by each individual.
Not at all.
Then I'm like, I'm familiar with their content. I'm behind the scenes. Coach Greg Adams behind the paywall. I know his philosophy. I'm completely against Andrew Wilson's philosophy. It sounds good. It's comedy watching date OnlyFans chicks, but at the same time, you can't advocate for marry these chicks after they're ran through.
Well, here's the thing, though. I think once again, if you were to have Greg Adams, right, and Andrew Wilson sit and talk about politics, so like politics, economics, they would agree on a lot of things because they're both conservative dudes. This is the major thing where Andrew Wilson butts heads with our worldview. I told you guys, Pearly Things had Andrew Wilson on. Everyone thinks Andrew Wilson's red pill. He's not. He's a Christian ethicist. He believes in the Bible and men needed this, or his Orthodox Christian version of the Bible, and that men need to blank from that. But Greg Adams and Andrew Wilson both don't like OF chicks. Both don't like feminism. They both don't like any of this stuff. So they agree on probably 90% of everything. Do you guys know how they say men and women are a lot alike, but in the things that were different were very different? Jordan Peterson said that men and women, when it comes to our genome, are like 98% alike, but that 2% means that I'm male and she's female and I'm taller and stronger. That's how Andrew Wilson's mindset is in ours. We would agree on a lot of things when it comes to patriarchy, economics. It's just this one thing. And Pearl asked him, sell me on marriage, and he couldn't answer. And that was what first made him look made him look bad to a bunch of men. And then it came up again here. Greg Adams doesn't need to make an argument because you cannot reasonably sell marriage to men nowadays. You can't do it. You cannot.
Between him and can you hear me, bro?
Yeah.
Okay, it was between him and Casey Jones. One of my homies from Twitter. Casey Jones is a polygynist from Australia, has 6 wives, like 6 baddies too. And he obliterated Andrew Wilson because there's Andrew Wilson. You can't argue biblically against something that's laid out like in the Old Testament, like stone. Yeah. So, and he tried that. He was on Timcast today, even talking about it.
Yeah.
But that debate right there showed me that his, you know, whatever he stands on isn't solid. And then against Pearl, same thing happened. You know, Pearl was kind of just joking with him, but it was embarrassing. Watching the conversation with him and Pearl.
So she actually wasn't making an argument. She asked him a question and said, and he couldn't pitch it. That's just the thing. So I think marriage is the one thing where, because I watch Andrew a lot only because I like how he shows that people on the left just don't know how to debate at all. Also, when he talks about, you know, things like immigration and other things that Greg Adams talks about too, they say the same things. But this one issue and the single moms and the debt, because Pearl asked him, should men marry a chick who has debt? He's like, well, how much? She said 25K. He's like, well, that's nothing. It's like, wait a minute, what?
The lie detector determined that was a lie.
So when all guys see is clips of Andrew talking to these knuckleheaded OF chicks, they think he's one of us, and this proves, without a doubt, he's not. Laughing Man says, for the No B Does Foundation, thanks for the $2, man. Appreciate that. And guys, hold on. Guys, here's another thing that these black women don't understand. If Secret, Trey, and I have mixed race kids, they're gonna be black. So it's not like if we don't deal with black chicks anymore, the black race is gonna die out. You know what I'm saying? Guys, black men don't need black women at all. At all. But all right, guys, actually I have to shut this bad boy down because I got something to go and do. Yeah, guys, we'll probably do a part 3 and finish this up. I will be live on Sunday, guys, as usual at 9. And yeah, guys, Secret, Trey, any closing words?
No, man, good stream. Yeah, definitely. I'm subbed. I'll definitely check it out. And what I'll do, man, that debate that Andrew flushed, I have it on my channel, privatized. I'll make it unprivate, so you can see this where he got destroyed. Just trade MBD.
Was it? Let me see.
Yeah, I'm highly shadow banned.
Oh, really? What is wait, Trey the MBD?
Yeah,
is it underscore?
Underscored. Yeah, Trey underscored MBD. Highly shadow banned, man. You know, ever since the FBI came to my crib, you know.
Oh man, dang.
That's how controversial I am.
Wow. Yeah, wow, dude. Whoa.
Yeah, so I took down a lot of my content, man. I got demonetized in YouTube, the FBI, like I don't know, man. They were after me.
Yikes.
So
I got your channel after this, brother.
Yeah, guys. Here, check his channel. He obviously needs some support, man. So yeah. Well, all right,
I got the nuclear button pushed on me by YouTube. But y'all take it easy, fellas.
All right, guys. Appreciate you. Bye, guys.
Take it easy.